is Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real. All right. How y'all feeling this morning?
Great.
I can't tell.
Look, I said I was getting ready to say, everybody sound like they've been out last night.
Man, listen. I have been out. I've been out, and it's been a long time, because usually I do not go out on a Friday because I have to be prepared for the show. Mm-hmm. I was out on a Friday. Let me see. Did I have coffee yesterday? I don't know. I had that energy. It's an energy tea. Because you did ask me. Didn't you ask me if I had coffee? Was that yesterday? I had this energy tea. But I was like chilling Thursday. I wasn't feeling good because my back was hurting. Friday, which was yesterday. And I kind of like sat here all day. And I wanted to go to the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert.
All right.
Listen, they sound the same.
Yeah.
I heard them in the living room.
How? What you do? You got some kind of something rigged up?
I was sitting there watching TV, and I was like, I kept hearing this music, and I thought it was somebody coming up the street, and I'm like, and I said, the concert. Heard everything.
Wow. Did you hear anything?
I didn't even have to leave. I heard everything.
Somebody must have been on live. Your neighbor must have been on live. Because I couldn't hear any. Well, let me take that back. Down by YSU, you could hear.
Well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do people line up do people be on the bridge, like watching the concert?
Nobody was on the bridge watching the concert, but people were on the bridge for the firework display the day before. But no, nobody was. I guess you could be on the bridge.
Like, get free tickets, everything.
Well, listen, live studio audience said they was going to sit on the church stairs. So how you going to kick somebody off the church stairs? You can't. It was right across the street. I mean, because you can hear it.
Yeah.
But I tell you what's interesting is I went down and the box office, listen, it wasn't even closed. The light, they gonna be the church there, yeah. The box office, they said they were closed, but they were still sitting there with the lights on. Like the Motel 6. We keep the light on for you.
Jeez.
I see it. Now, they know they could have bought it. But that's okay, because that's what I get for waiting for the last minute to say, okay, I'm going to go. Now, it did pour down raining. And when it poured down raining, the grass, I don't want to be in wet grass.
So what's the deal? You can bring chairs?
Yes, you can bring chairs.
Okay, and somebody said you can bring chairs, but they can only be 9 inches off the ground? Or something like that? Yes.
So you thinking like I was thinking. So if you bring chairs 9 inches off the ground, I was like, I ain't gonna be able to get up. I might as well sit on the ground.
Yeah. So what's the
9 inches from the seat? So your regular lawn chairs that we take to the games, little league football games, your shoulders. Those are the chairs that they're saying. Now you cannot take the bag that it comes inside. Don't ask me why.
Well, that's crazy. Because you be smuggling beverages and stuff.
Oh! Hey, we got the answer, because we couldn't figure out for the life of me, why?
Wild. Because they may say, it's a security thing. Nah,
they said it was a security thing.
It's to secure their vending fees. That's all.
That is the answer, because I could not figure it out.
You can slip a whole 12-pack of one of them and walk on in, dude. Yeah, or a bottle.
Oh, man. See, I could not figure out because why. And they said it was a security issue. What type? You have to tell me. And then I'll be like, oh, okay. Here's what's interesting.
This is a concealed and carry state. So you can have a concealed,
Oh, okay.
So how is having that bag going to stop you from doing, if you want to do harm?
A rifle, you can slide it on in the bag, you mean?
I mean, you could, but if you wanted to do harm, you wouldn't even have to go to those levels. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nowadays, you can't say, well, who would do that? Because, nowadays, people are crazy.
They off the hook. Drink. But yes, that's the answer. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That is the answer, because we could not figure out what was the answer.
Yeah, that's my conspiracy theory.
That's a great conspiracy theory.
Right?
That's a great conspiracy theory because I could not figure out why. And see, here's my thought. I said, my back has been bothering me. And when you carry the chair, you can carry the chair in by itself. Uh-huh. Well, we put it over our shoulder. You got to park Timbuktu. Here's the problem: when you use if I'm carrying a chair, how's somebody elderly gonna carry the chair? Mm-hmm. What you gotta do is 2 hands. How am I carry that?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you can't take the bag. So I said, well, this is my thoughts, and I said, well, how come I can't take the bag in? I could just go ahead and just put the bag in my purse.
True that.
Because, it's easier. It's convenient. That's why we bought the chairs. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. Otherwise, we'd have been using them ones, remember, with the crisscross.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where,
tic-tac-toe thingy.
It's one of those things where, think about it like this. It may not truly be a deterrent from women bringing stuff in because they have purses.
Right.
But usually half the audience is going to be a man. And we don't carry purses.
And y'all want to go y'all want to go to a love concert anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there was a lot of men up there.
Earth, Wind & Fire, man, it was packed.
Yeah.
And I had completely forgot about it until my friend said something. Of course, it was the last minute. So I was like, that I could have went down there.
Oh, your nails look great.
Thank you. My little cousin did it. Bomb by chiffon.
Y'all, they know they creative. They know they creative with these.
I showed her a picture
names,
and she did it exactly.
Bomb by chiffon. They be having it. They come up with these names. They quite creative, these young people. So that is the reason why. But it was packed, and they had Party on the Plaza.
Okay.
They had that again. Last night. So downtown Youngstown was bumping. I was so proud.
That's where everybody was then. And
I felt, I'm not exaggerating, about 10,000 people. It was bumping so much that.
It might have been more than that.
It probably was. I stopped. It ain't like I count. Look, I stopped counting. I ain't count 10,000. I sat there and my boy Will, from church, he was like, Mel, how many people you think is here? Guess what I said? Mm-hmm. A lot. He was like, good answer. I'm like, a lot?
Well, it's really one of those holidays where you got people who are traveling back home, mm-hmm. Spending the 4th of July with their families and that sort of thing.
That's when they do usually class reunions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Every long weekend, like you said, traveling back home, like, hey, okay, let's go knock this out.
Yeah, so it's good.
It was everything. It was bumping to like 3:30 in the morning. Then I got hungry. I felt like it was like back when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I'm 45 right now. Back when I was a kid, you go skating, then you be like, McDonald's. Man, y'all closed? The city is still open downtown. What do you mean that you closed? I got to go out to Perkins, and then I'm thinking Perkins is closed because it's just nobody but the workers there. I was like, y'all still open? Mm. But, I forgot. They not called Perkins no more because they want the name back. So we're not supposed to call it Perkins anymore.
What you supposed to call it?
I don't know. Whatever they come up with, but Perkins is no more. They got to rename it.
Why?
We'll go into detail. We'll go into detail a little bit later. All right, let's get with these hot topics real quick. Tiffany Haddish. I don't know if you guys, you like, here we go. No, well, Tiffany Haddish, what she ended up saying, she told the PETA people, because she wears furs.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? I'll start wearing furs when cops start killing black people.
And I'm with her on that one.
Yeah.
How you feel about that? PETA, sit down!
Well, you know what? I just kind of feel like, why did she feel the need to make this statement?
Well, because the PETA had a problem. The PETA told her, they had a problem with her and her fur that she wore this last go round wherever it was. It wasn't like summertime. It was like
So
and some of those PETA people have been known to throw paint and stuff on folks.
Radicals, honey, radicals.
We be fighting.
I said this is seem too much. How about the 10-year-old that decided? Well, she asked her instructor, because it was, we know it's Pride Month. Mm-hmm. It was Pride Month. And she asked her instructor to not participate in the lesson for the LBGT. They suspended her for a week.
I was so upset with that. That's not
How do you feel about that?
Well, okay, I didn't hear this story.
I'm telling you it right now.
There was an instructor who asked
a teacher, and she was doing a lesson on the LBGT community. and there was a student, she's 10 years old.
Yeah.
She asked the teacher if she could be removed from that lesson.
Okay.
And the school suspended her for a week.
The student?
The student.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, they suspended her for a week.
Okay.
Go ahead, go.
I have no problem with the LGBT community whatsoever. I have friends, family, lesbian, gays, one transgender that love them to death. But please stop pushing these issues on these children. Now you got Disney putting... Let them, when they grow up, make up their own mind. Even the younger ones now that think they, I feel a certain way. And they're, okay, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But stop pushing it on these other kids. If a child feels like they are not themselves in the body that God gave them, and they want to, be the opposite gender, or they want to act like that's fine. But please don't push it on everybody's child. Let them grow up and make their own decision. Like I said, I have no problem. Love them to death. Friends, family, whatever. But stop pushing your issue on these babies.
Okay.
My thoughts are this. Is that I don't think she should have got suspended.
I don't.
But
okay.
I do feel that she should have been held accountable for not whatever academically would, like, for example, if I don't do the homework, I get a 0.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I don't do this, I get that, or whatever. I think she should have academically, she should have been held accountable for not participating in the class. But as far as, like, a suspension, I don't think that should have happened.
I don't think it should happen. And I agree with you 100%, because even when they do Black History, maybe there's like white kids that be like, can I be excused from this lesson? You know what I mean? And I'm not comparing the both, or Indian. Like, let's talk about, when they talk about the Native Americans, when we did that in history, and that was like in history. And it'd be like, oh, I want to be excluded from that. So I'm with you on that. Get a 0.
Well, yeah, and the whole thing about the and it should have been more of a teachable moment of like why they felt that part of the curriculum was necessary, But the other piece is that like no one took into play what her personal experience
or religious belief
or whatever, that sort of thing. So I don't necessarily feel that she should have been persecuted for not wanting to be persecuted in the form of a suspension to not, but if it was like, hey, work needs to be done and this is the topic and you choose not to do it, then you get what people who don't do their homework get.
A 0.
Yeah,
a big fat 0. Remember they used to say that? Why did they used to say that all the time?
0.
A big fat 0. You didn't want a fat 0. You just like, I'm gonna get a 0. Oh, you're gonna get an F. Okay, you're gonna get a big fat 0. You remember that? And then,
those teachers that just went to the extreme.
Right, and you're like, oh, a fat one? Oh my God, I'm gonna get a big fat 0. She told me I was gonna get a big fat 0.
But in the 80s, everything was like fat. Like it wasn't people didn't use it as a word. Like people call people fat, of course, but they didn't use like everything that was bad was like it's gonna be a big fat one, the big fat this, Yeah,
but they defined it FAT and PHAT.
Now that was us.
Yes,
the hip hop industry.
Yeah,
that was us. That
the
said
ebonics.
Yeah, we like hey
ebonics.
I agree with you, Roogle. I think that's a great solution.
Yeah.
But yeah, she should just get a big fat 0.
But and even those days from school or whatever. I mean, it is kind of seemed like is that they made it more of an issue than what it needed to be by putting down punishments of suspension. Because it wasn't necessary. But I do think that that as far as teaching goes, that the problem with America in its education system, and now it's changing, is that there's change for like inclusion. So you don't have to take like, okay, hopefully we're getting to this point where the American history is a fabric of everyone who makes that history.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm necessarily like upset with the school for teaching it. I just kind of feel like what are my thoughts are what from what perspective are you teaching this? Like, are you teaching it because of the movement and how like there
or is your principle
in, or is it like I don't know what how like.
I think it's part of history, and to me, it needs to be taught. It needs to be taught. I mean, when you're dealing with the LBGT, it's there. So yes, it's part of history. I think it should be taught, like to each his own. Just like what Nick said, she was talking about how that she feels as though that you shouldn't have to introduce that to your child. It's part of history. I just think that maybe secondary education.
Oh, when it should be included?
When it should be introduced. Because we ain't talk about, like, in what's that, health? We didn't talk about sex until secondary. So who cares who you sleep with?
Okay, there's a meeting that they have only with the girls in elementary school that boys don't get to go to.
Is there?
It was like that when I was in school. It was like they took hold on,
Did
girls, we're taking you all out of the...
I must have missed that.
Oh, we didn't, because we was like, what's going on? Why are they taking out our class? Why are they taking our friends? You know what I mean? They like just taking them, and they all come back to the classroom shocked. Like, what? What's gonna happen? And like, I don't even know if they even like discreetly have permission slips or anything like that, or they just say it's time.
Yeah, you're right.
This is the time.
Okay, I didn't even know that. How did I miss it? I must have been absent. I probably was in the hospital that day. You know, I spent a lot of time in the hospital.
Nurse. She wouldn't let nobody teach us but her.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
This is elementary?
That was like 5th grade, I think. Yeah,
I missed it. I must have been absent.
It was 7th grade for us.
Was it 5th or 6th? I know I was in elementary school.
Yeah,
it was 7th grade.
He said they took the girls out and they came back shocked. I'd have been one of them shocked kids too.
I believe it was 5th or 6th, because I remember, like, I know it was elementary school for sure.
And what did they get when they came back? The only people I know going out the rooms when they used to stand up, them ladies used to come, they'd be like rides, lamps, and the people used to come and they come back with suckers and snacks. I was like, I want to go.
You would think they would do it at the end of the day so that they can just go and be on the bus like, what happened? They do it like,
send them home to their parents.
They were like, presentation, 11 o'clock.
And then bam, there you go.
Lunch or something.
Let me tell you what's interesting. I went to church one Sunday, right? Like, I don't never go. I just went this one Sunday. Mm-hmm. But I went to church one Sunday. And when you go to church, you go to hear a word. Well, I heard a word. They had an STD demonstration with slides.
Mm-hmm. In church.
Girl, listen, in church. Mm-hmm. Here's what's interesting about it. Me being in the medical profession, I was okay with it because I used to work at the OB clinic, and then I had to quit because I knew too many people and I didn't want to know you that well. And I'm like, oh, why? Let me go to another district where I don't actually know the people. And they showed what different diseases look like. Now, here's where I had an issue. You had children that were there, little kids. Mm-hmm. And I think they left shocked, like you said. Yeah. Listen, some people got up and walked out. Now, they did. They told you that we were going to do a presentation and we were going to talk about health education, STDs for our teens and blah, 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 blah.
I know what organization that was.
And they did say, if you are uncomfortable, you could go ahead and leave. And then we'll have the service. Now, here's where I'm at with that. Don't be showing me that when at 11 o'clock service. To me, I think save it for me after church.
Mm-hmm. Like it should have been a special event.
Yes, or I mean, and if you want the congregation, tell me, after, but like if you guys can sit here for a few minutes before you do the benediction.
Right.
But first thing in the morning, I don't want to see somebody's hoo-ha looking like cauliflower.
Blue waffle.
The blue waffle.
Oh my.
She don't want to see. Listen. When I leave work, all right, here's the deal. So y'all can imagine, if y'all not in corrections, Kim Ham to go to, girl, you already know how it is. I seen enough penises to last me 3 lifetimes.
All right, please. Working in her nurse home, yes.
Now when I say that, working in corrections, now follow me. Working in corrections.
The penises look a little different.
Right, working in corrections. Yeah, Kim said they look a little different. Yes, they upright. I work in night shift. Listen, they will find out who's working, and then all of a sudden they got penis problems. So, Lieutenant Hamilton, he like, hey, Nurse Ross, blah, blah. I was like, what? And me and my girl Wall sitting there, and I'm thinking, why every time I'm here, they got penis problems in the middle of the night? Like, I'm night shift, like you should be asleep. What kind of problem? 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe you got an erection. I learned that over time. You know what I'm saying? But who in the world is
11 o'clock in the morning?
Listen.
Oh, but the prison corrections is totally different. You can walk by a cell, Nurse Kim. That Pear Glacé from Victoria's Secret you got on smells good.
Oh, they know it too.
They know.
They know it, girl. They know it. Or what is that you got? I'm gonna have my girl get. No, get out of here. And when I would walk in there,
it's a totally different
I would hear. This is the sound. This is. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So I used to say it back. And then this one, I did. I used to be like, yeah, Bill call. And this one inmate, he told me what that meant. Mm-hmm. That was them, which is terrible. So what I am saying is, I worked the night before. So this is the moral of the story. I worked the night before. So I done seen 100,000 penises, okay? And I stopped. I said, you know what? But I got him good the one time because we had a new guy that came in, speaking of LBGT, he was gay. I said, Lieutenant Hamilton, I was like, go ahead, send him on up. Dude thought that we was going to be doing penis inspection. I was like, you got it. Listen, cut it down by like 90%. Who gonna check me? Who gonna see? Ain't nothing we can do. If you leaking now, you gonna be leaking tomorrow. Just wait till the doctor come. But then when the gay dude went in, all of a sudden they was healed. They have been healed. So I get off work from all this extra, and then I go to church, and that's what I see on the screen. That's not what I want. To me, I think that it should have been another way. Like, I'm here to hear the word of God. That's my purpose. I don't want to hear about politics. I don't want to hear about nothing. So I have an issue even with politics in the pulpit. Why? Why are we doing that? Because what they say, a separation between church and state?
Yeah, it's a separation between church and state. But I think there's also like,
says the politician.
But there's also like this tie-in though too. Like there's certain things that can't escape. Even like I think the issue is that like you shouldn't be. Well, first of all, it should be nonpartisan conversations.
Okay.
About what's going on.
I got a problem with the people coming to the church and you're not coming back. You're coming to the church because you're running for office
and you want
our vote. And then we have and another thing, I got a problem with the pastors who allow a politician right there in the pulpit. Nope. You ain't allowed. That's sacred. We weren't allowed to run around it. I wasn't allowed to run through it as a kid. You stay on the side. Go over there where the announcements are at.
Well, I think the issue is like, okay, because this is interesting. I was thinking about this the other day.
Go ahead.
Okay, remember Barack Obama was getting slammed because of what his preacher was saying or whatever?
Yes.
And his preacher, like, for the black community, the things he was saying may not have been so objectifiable as they were for, like, just mainstream America. Excuse me, jeez.
Hey, welcome to Sharp Talk.
Yeah, welcome to Sharp Talk.
We keep it 100.
real.
There's no cough button here, baby.
The body functions properly.
Right, look there. Look at there.
So what ended up happening?
No, he don't need no Samantha.
Like they were like trying to really trash him over this. You know what I mean?
Over
like,
somebody else's actions.
Well, yeah, but the issue was like I thought about that and I was like, you never hear about Donald, is it P or F Trump's religious affiliation?
I'm not that invested.
You know,
look, I ain't that invested. What is this?
When he said Corinthians 2. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess you could say that, but everybody knows 2 Corinthians.
We in the black community say 2 Corinthians.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But the thing was, it's like, hey, like, at least like in that notion, like people get comfort knowing that there's people who have some belief system.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so like I kind of feel like there's areas where like there is that bleed over, and when I think about like, because I've been to a demonstration that you're talking, not demonstration, but that thing that you're talking about, but it was after, it wasn't during a church service, but it was in a church.
Okay.
And the whole thing was after they did all that, they wanted us to take a pledge of what's that? When you
It's chastity, abstinence.
And like the funny
Did
thing
you
was,
take that pledge?
hey, I was like, because they was like, you can do, like, they was like, you, if you already had sex, you can just recommit yourself, right?
Re-virginize
yourself.
and
I was like, I get a kid. You know what I mean? I was like, because I was like 19 in this class. I was like, I got a kid. You know what I mean? Like it's if I get a kid and I'm in a relationship, if I stop doing this, then she
gonna think you cheating.
Yeah, or it would
You
be a committed effort from both parties, and she wasn't there. But yeah, it was horrendous, this stuff.
But you would want to practice abstinence after they show you what they show you.
And that's exactly why they did it in church, because you're thinking that they're separate issues, but they're not.
Okay.
Especially when you saw if she did the same presentation, because I know who we're talking about. The third grader who had genital warts going all the way down their throat. Did she show that?
Yes, and how did she have that? Who did?
Because she works with people in that healthcare profession.
A third grader.
A third grader had genital warts going all the way down her throat from having oral sex. So what the message is in this is that we are not to have sex before marriage, which is directly from our faith-based upbringing.
Okay.
So they feel that if they bring it to the church and teach it that way, that it will save our children from fornication. That is the whole purpose of doing it that way, because her pretense is we're coming from the Word of God to present this, and this is what could happen to you, not as a punishment, but this is just what's out there. So abstinence, according to the Word of God, is relevant according to this presentation that I'm going to give you. And that is how it is able to be presented in the church house.
Listen, baby, listen.
Now, whether or not that's the
I
best
want
way
a
to do
snow cone. I want no superstar. I want no push-up. I was done.
Yeah, and to show you
male organs. Did you see it?
Male organs with warts coming off of them that look like it's a peeled banana. Did you see that present?
I saw it look like cauliflower.
Yes. So to see all of that is to remind you that sex is for marriage. That's the whole. So
who want to get married to that?
And that's exactly. So if that is how you felt when you walked out of church, purpose served. That was it.
Yeah,
all purpose. I didn't even try to get married. I was. Who wants that?
You know, thinking back on it, like they never tell you how long that person had that disease for it to get to that point.
Right.
like they just show you the picture. Look, and this is what happened to you.
Yes.
Even if it's just a tip, even if you slip it in.
Yeah, look, he is crazy.
Slip it in.
Listen to this, which is really interesting, and I'm glad you brought up that the third grader, from her having oral sex with genital, what was it, herpes?
It was herpes.
Herpes, yeah. Now here's the deal.
8 years old.
That ain't, first of all, that ain't the move. Okay. Secondly, I was having this conversation last night with my homeboy from the church. Isn't that funny? I was like, people are off the hook. These young ladies now, they are still virgins. And them being virgins, they'll perform oral sex as long as they're still a virgin. So they don't look at that as sex.
So that's right. They don't call it sex. That's why.
So they're going to be walking around.
But
like
that's where all of that comes from, though. That's why they do that presentation in the church house for the conversation we're having right now.
So did they say the biggest host is in the church? Now, I heard it. Am I the only one that heard that? Think about
Everybody is in the church. It's a place for sinners. We all are sinners. Everybody's there.
But that's what they say, like PKs. You know what I'm saying? You heard that. You know what I mean? You heard that like forever. I know I'm not the only one. No. Look at Roogle looking at me. He's giving me the side eye. I heard that for real coming up. It was like, oh. But then the people that you knew that were PKs, I was like, ooh. And then you looking at, like, I'm going to pray for you. Oh, Mel, she wild and she doing what she do. Mm-hmm. I wasn't doing that. Like, that was doing too much. Like, I ain't lying. Like, my child off the chain. Anybody know her? She hilarious, but she off the chain. So you looking at her like, oh, okay, well, yeah, if that happened, that'd be her. Not with this whole like sex thing. And then she was with this one girl that was real quiet and nice. She was like, I can't hang with her. I said, why? She was like, Mommy, I can't hang with her. I said, why? She was like, ooh, she doing some craziness. Mm-hmm. I said, oh, it's too much for you. She was like, it's too much for me. I was like, so you got the quiet person that you think is like, oh, this is a nice young lady that's doing a whole lot more. Like this one, and my mother can attest to this. I had one girl that was in the church, and she used to come over, praise the Lord, and we were young, praise the Lord, the Lamb of God, and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? She was smoking and drinking. And I wish that my mother happened to call in or she was here, because she would tell you that she was like, what? She was like, oh, praise the Lord. Oh, Ma, call my mother Ma, the whole nine.
But that is because, and here's part of the issue with that. So I was an HIV/AIDS educator.
Okay.
And my population was age 13 to 19 and men who have sex with men. That was my target population. Okay. What happens with a lot of our youths is that our faith-based households practice abstinence and nothing else. So when these kids have questions or when these kids have concerns, they have nobody to talk to, because the answer is going to always be just don't do it. That doesn't mean that you don't have questions. That doesn't mean that you're not curious. It doesn't mean that you don't have interest. But if there's nobody for you to talk about it to, you're going to go out and experiment. Because you're going to learn from the streets what people think if they don't tell you at home, you just won't do. And it's not like that.
Yes.
And that's where you see all these
And
kids,
I think that's our generation,
and that's where you see all these kids, though, going out there praising the Lord at home, because that's what you're supposed to do. Okay. But then when your essence of self is taken over out in the street, you're learning how to fall in love, you're learning to see what intimacy is like, and nobody's giving you any feedback, you're going to go out there and learn it. And that's what happens. That's why you'll say, oh, I thought she was so quiet. Or, I thought that, she would never do that. Well, that's because nobody else was teaching her, so she had to go out and learn on her own. Nobody else was teaching him, so he had to go learn on his own. My mother did a sex education class for my brother and all his friends.
Shout out to Wayne.
All his friends. She had the
that's cool.
The condom, the glove, the mask, because she was the STD nurse for the, Youngstown City Health Department. Uh-huh. So she would get all him, and she kept a condom drawer in our house.
Okay.
For my brother and his friends.
Okay.
She kept a drawer for that, because she had seen so much come through that clinic. And of course, my brother's friends, all the parents were cool. Everybody knew what was going on. But she educated them. She said, because I want you to hear the truth from somebody who cares about you. And if you must do it anyway, I need for you to do it with protection.
Do it the right way.
And so I grew up in a household where every time we left the house, because this was before cell phones, have a quarter, that was before cell phones, and take a condom every time we walked out that house.
Oh, man.
Because she was like, prevention is worth a pound of cure. Or how is it? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure?
Girl, that's an old adage. Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that. I'm like, wow, I don't know. You heard that one before?
I've never heard that one.
Yeah. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
I like it, though.
Yes.
Exactly.
I like it.
I mean, and it wasn't like she was telling us to have sex. She wasn't giving us permission to have sex. But if this is what you're going to do it in a way that's going to protect you, and do it well informed. I got chastised from the pulpit for teaching about HIV/AIDS.
That's okay.
Yes,
go ahead.
Well,
go ahead, Roogle. Go ahead and talk.
All right,
and then I want y'all input as a member.
I was trained by Tish. The program was Tish. It was from Rutgers University.
Okay.
Sex education.
Okay.
And one of the things I was involved with, I can't think of the group's name, but it was in Cleveland. I can't think of the name of the group right now. But anyway, what we did was it was about sex education, AIDS prevention, and that kind of stuff. So we would get we would have like sacks of condoms and go down in front of bars and stuff and pass them out to biz people.
Okay.
And some bars one bar was a I guess, I don't know, gay bar, I guess you could call it. And one of the things that they did was they kept a fishbowl of condoms on in their bar for anybody who wanted to have them. But what I was doing there was I was involved with Head Start.
Okay.
So I was teaching fathers about safe sex. And it was funny because the issue came up where God was like, well, hey, I can't just start using condoms at home because it's going to be an issue. Like, why are you using these condoms now? And so I would say, well, the thing is, if you're in a monogamous relationship and you feel like everything is okay, I can't tell you how to have sex. I can only tell you that if you know, you can only be accountable for what you know that you do. And so if you're doing something extra, then, or if you don't trust your relationship, then, but those are decisions you have to make. But the issue was like, in that dynamic, there are people who maybe, they might have back then they didn't call them side chicks, but they might have multiple relationships where that person thinks they're the one. And so in order for them to keep that persona of being the one, they may have unprotected sex with multiple women. And so, like, part of what we were trying to do was just engage them to say, honesty in your relationships is an important part of keeping everybody safe.
Okay.
Because like and then the thing is also, we were looking at it as like, if you are having sex for the enjoyment of sex without the intentions of procreating, then this would be the option for you, versus like having premature pregnancies that you may not want to have at that time.
Okay.
So that was like part of our approach with that. And it was so funny. I was talking to one of my friends about the value of getting married early versus being married later in life. I don't know. I want to go all into that, but it was kind of a graphic conversation about the whole process. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will tell you one thing with this generation now. So I guess just like with what she was saying, that it serves its purpose, because with the younger generation, they're serious about safe sex. And theirs is because of, like you brought up, the procreation. They're like, I don't want to have kids. I don't think they really caring about the disease. They just don't want to have children. They're like, I can't take care of myself. So this generation now that's coming up, they're very boisterous about a lot. But I just don't be in the pulpit talking about some sex education. I think it need to be a different time. I mean, it worked, but that's like, that's shock therapy, man.
Yeah, that's something you do during the week.
You said during the week?
Even on Saturday evening or something like that. Just
right before you go to the club.
We're having a special program. We need the church members, if you can make it, come.
Oh, listen, I would have been there. Yes, you said after the word if. However, but I was brought up, if you could go to the club, you could go to church on Sunday. That was my thing. If you could go skating on Saturday or Sunday, well, we were skating on Sunday night. It was like you go to church Sunday morning. If you ain't go to church Sunday morning, cancel that.
Yeah, you didn't get to.
So maybe that's it. Like right before we go to church, here we go. We go bring you on in here, and I need you to watch this. You be like, wait a minute. All I was doing was I just wanted to dance. Like, what we talk about here? Like, what's going on? I remember, like you said, how your mom taught you guys. Like when you step out, make sure everything was everything. Well, I remember my mom actually took us to, like, I was shocked, to an OB doctor. We had to watch this movie with childbirth. Mm-hmm. I think I was like mortified. Listen, it was bad. It was so bad. And Sharella, she took me out. We were all in there, and it was a group of girls, and that's what my mom did. She took it. You know how she is anyway. A group, boom. So we went to get educated. I wasn't ready. I'm still, look, I got 2 children, but still to this day, I wasn't ready. So Sharella takes me out, and she tells my mother she can't handle it. Listen, that childbirth told me I was not having any children. I was like, wait, what's happening? I was not on that pit. I wasn't there. However, they were there because they were actually active. I wasn't active at the time. Like, this is like, what do you mean? What are we getting ready to do? I was...
Okay, Kevin Hart, she wasn't ready.
I was not at all ready. So I was like, shout out to Miss Boundary, because that's who actually was like hearing with these pamphlets. They meant nothing to me because I wasn't at that place. But I get what she was trying to do, but I was not ready. Yeah, like
my
Kevin Hart.
mom's her OBGYN book that is pictures and illustrations and all. That's why I was like,
Now, how was that for you? How did you learn about sex education?
You go out there and try it out. Then you educate yourself.
Trial and error.
You learn about trial and error.
Trial and error. Listen, having a son and a daughter is crazy because my son used to want his friends to be spending the night. I was like, absolutely not. You won't be practicing on my child. Just from what you said. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
absolutely not. And I was like, look, you were joking. I was for real. Like,
however, I was a teenage parent. So maybe I wasn't joking.
I'm just wondering, like, how do you introduce that? Interesting. Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about your boy. Moving on. His speech and the
4th of July.
4th of July.
I actually wanted to watch it, but I did not.
Why not?
Because I did a late night barbecue.
By yourself on the porch as usual?
Well, my son was with me on the day before. And then, I had to get up and I went to go see Spider-Man at 8:15 in the morning. Wonderful time.
Was it? Okay.
Love that morning movie, baby. Love that morning movie. But, so I cooked a couple things and I was kind of out for the rest of the day.
Oh, well, that's enough. Go ahead.
And I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. I don't deal with orange foolies. But in the same subject, did you see all the police cars? And I was wondering why all the fire trucks was around the corner at Phantom Fireworks. Because of them supplying the fireworks to Orange Foolies, they had a bomb threat. Now, I was like, I didn't even know this building was open this time of night. All them folks that was sitting outside.
I did see that, but I don't know if you know, Phantom Fireworks is in Washington, D.C. as well.
Right.
They're in Washington as well, so they making money. I'm happy that they didn't move from this area. Like, thank you for paying the taxes and doing what you do. And to have originated here and kept it here, I'm down 110%. But to donate, people are nuts. And here's the thing. And I'm sure it probably, I'm not saying because I don't know who did the bomb threat. You have your Democrats and you have your Republicans. The stuff that he's doing, we know that if President Obama even thought about doing like a tenth of what he does.
I mean, they'd have been crucified.
Right. They had, he was the main one crucifying him, talking about, so where's your birth certificate? Sir, we still waiting on your taxes. Quit playing on the phone.
Right.
And I think that what did they say? In 70 years, they never had a celebration. The celebration was amazing, by the way. I got to say, I watched it and I just looked, I said, you know what, on that, I'm not a big fan of him, but on that, I felt like, you know what, we need to celebrate America. Because that's what it is. And he spent a lot of money, but it was amazing. You know, I like a good party.
Yeah, and the problem was he spent monies that were allocated to federal parks.
They ain't no
tune to almost $3 million.
Yes, but you see that.
And we don't even know what the total cost is. But when you talk about celebrating America, I think the way that other presidents have done it in the past. 70
years, and he's the one. So I guess he's going to go out with a big bang because he know he ain't coming back.
Yeah, because like when I think about that, like, okay, you bring this extra expense. Okay, I get it's a celebration. You want to do all that stuff like that. But next time, get it sponsored by Coke or Pepsi. That's all I'm saying.
Get sponsors.
But the other part of that is that there's something to be said about the small town American celebration of our independence.
Okay.
And sometimes you take away from that when you got to have these people who are working added security, added this, added that to make this one thing happen, when the fabric of that celebration is the people that make you strong in your being, in your community, on your street, that get together to celebrate this thing. And I feel that was something that a lot of those hardworking servicemen and women, military folk, may not have been able to celebrate in the way they've done in the past years. There was even some generals and stuff like that who said, hey, I got prior obligations and did not go.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't know if those, I assume those prior obligations were family ones, but the issue is that, like, I think when you, like, for example, did we need tanks on a national mall? No.
Sir, You talking to a party planner.
You don't need like America.
I get it what you said, but I do that.
But America doesn't show its strength and its might. We should show our strength in our way to solve problems, to embrace our communities, and that's one of the things that I believe 4th of July does more than most holidays.
Okay.
Because my family, we do 4th big. Granted, we haven't done it big in a while.
Yes, we used to.
Yeah. And my son was talking to me about that.
Like he misses it. Man, that was like it. We always had fireworks. We did. Like, that was like forever. And we knew where we were going on the 4th of July. It wasn't changing. This is what we did. Boom. This is what it is. Since I was a little girl. That's what I know. Yeah. And it's like, it is sad. Because you'd be like, oh, man, well, we're nothing for the little kids. They're going to miss out on this.
Because they would say, like, Bill Clinton, what he would do was, like, during the day, he would go to different Air Force bases where people were working and just thank the soldiers and everything for their service. You know what I mean? So I think there's something that, I think, like, there's something that you miss out when you do that versus, like, how it's always been done. Okay.
Now, do you think it should be a certain time? The fireworks need to be over by midnight. Clearly, that's me. 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And my dogs all night long.
You
for the
got
last
pets.
several days. I would be sitting here to listen. Just been tortured. Pow, pow. Yes, the little one start. The big one wasn't really paying no attention to the little one start. I'm just sitting there just like the last couple of days has been torture. Like, really?
What do you think?
You know what? 4th of July, alcohol and fireworks. This is a part of the thing.
At 3 in the morning. Am I getting too old? Am I getting too old?
What ends up happening is like you do all your stuff and you be like, oh, we had these over here. We got to do these.
Oh, that's what happened.
Boom, boom, boom. We got to do these extra ones.
Look, boom, the next night at 9 o'clock in the night.
Everybody here, the beer's cold. It's fingers that might need to be blown up, baby. We got to do this right now.
But what about your deep people? When I say your deep people, the one that was like, I know! Okay. The deep people that be like, our independence is Juneteenth.
Yeah, they was getting on my nerves. On Facebook.
You so deep. Like,
I just kind of feel like, but there's...
I understand the truth, but why would you take it away? You taking the fun away from your children. Like things that you were exposed to that was exciting to you. Yeah, tell them the truth, but why take it away?
So you're saying that when you have a perspective like that, you should also have inclusion for the country that you're in.
Yes.
So make sure
you're so good. You go.
So make sure you don't exclude the things that are actually also happening that's going to be on the test.
Right. Right. It's going to be on the test. Right. Yeah. The life test.
1776. That's going to be on the test.
That's going. And listen, and it's going to help them too, right? So when they sit there and get that test in history, they're going to be like, "Oh, I know this. Yeah, I remember this." You know what I mean? You have to. I just feel like don't.
On my timeline, we don't celebrate. This ain't our country. If y'all feel like that, then you talk about, well, I can't wait to go home. I'm like you. Well, bye. Because guess what? Just like you, I was born right here in the good old U.S. of A. I wasn't born in Africa. Some of my ancestors may have come from Africa.
I don't know nothing about Africa.
Don't know where to go.
Yeah, what side of town?
None of us in the country.
Do go to a certain side of town.
I'm home.
But I'm like, okay, what side of town am supposed to be on?
Truth be told, Africans don't want black Americans in their country either. Truth be told.
Go ahead, Kim.
She just said it.
They don't want us over there because we're not from there. Ancestors, yes, but we're not from there. We are from here. You know, everybody's like, they stole us from our land. No, baby, they stole our ancestors from the land. You from this land. Just take it and it is what it is. If you don't like it, then try to take your butt on over there and see how you get treated.
That's Ruggle's favorite phrase. It is what it is.
I don't like that.
I know.
Because I think the thing is like, even though the circumstances that we were brought over here are dire, the issue is that, and this is how I feel about all American issues. The flag is represented. It represents the things that we want this country to be.
Right.
And if we want this country to be something that includes all of us, then we fight for that inclusion. If we want this country to be something that like ensures that all of our citizens have the right to health care, have the right to these things, have the right to an education, have the right to like what they say, the pursuit of happiness, then we have to fight for those things, and that's what that flag represents. So I'm not willing to abandon the work of generations that have got me to the point that have this conversation on the radio today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of that. Now we'll recognize that history, and it will always, because you what they say, if you don't
know your history, you're bound to repeat it. That's what my mama said.
Exactly. So I mean,
and that's the truth.
So if we're in a situation of moving forward and forever being vigilant to make those changes to make this country great, to maintain this country's greatness, I should say.
I heard that. Don't be coming in here with no slogans.
Yeah,
those kind of slogans.
I think it's I think like the thing is like, hey, then you make sure that nationally Juneteenth is being recognized. Make that push. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not just the alienation of one for another because of the circumstances at stake.
Okay.
Because honestly, there wouldn't be a Juneteenth if there wasn't a constitution. And then when I say that, because the words that's argued when we talk about slavery is what? All men are created equal.
Right. We ain't getting paid though.
So
that's another show. Why do women? But go ahead.
So let's think about if we didn't have the Constitution.
Okay.
And we didn't have those words.
Okay.
Then
how do you make the argument for Juneteenth to happen? How do you make the argument for the Emancipation Proclamation? You know, how do you those are all, even though it's not timely, even though it wasn't the spirit of what the words may have been, but that has been the argument because of the, if you will, put it, vagueness or all-inclusiveness of the forefathers to include that language that gave minorities, gays, women, everybody else the opportunity to argue for equality and the constitutional rights as they were written in that paper 100 and something years before Juneteenth happened.
Well, this is what I do for my deep people. In case they probably don't even know because they so deep. You know what I mean? You know how we do with birthday parties? We'll be like, oh, okay, your birthday this, that, we're going to celebrate it on the weekend. I include everything on the 4th of July because in July the 2nd, 1964, you remember what happened? When President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act into law, preventing discrimination against race, color. Add that to it. Religious, sex, and the national origin, that type of stuff. I was like, well, that was on July 2nd. We forgot about that?
July 4th. Yeah, of course.
We're going to celebrate all on the 4th. How about that?
The woke people I don't know what they be thinking about, but yeah, little things like that you have to include. So when you talk about we don't celebrate, that's not our holiday, we don't celebrate it.
You want to wake everybody up, but you done celebrated it as a kid. Like, I got a problem with the woke people. I got a problem with the woke people that want, hey, we need to support our own. Okay, that's all well and good, but why don't you just say what it is? Y'all need to support me because they ain't supporting you or others.
Right.
And my thing is, I'm product based. I am like, how good is your product? I'll support you if that's something that I really want. But you want everybody to support you. You told me you open up at 8 o'clock. You don't open up at 8 o'clock. Ain't nobody here. Mm-hmm. Come on now. Mm. So what you expect, I need you to make sure that you got your best foot forward. Now, I support my people. Don't get me wrong. I support my people, but I'm going to need you to support yourself first. There you go. Anything you want to add?
No. I walked away. So
Preach, Minister Rudolph Ross.
Listen, that's what the bill collectors be saying. When I speak to and they say Rudolph Ross, I'll be like, Facebook, wrong person, because I ain't even my legal name. That ain't even my legal name. I only got that for my people that I went to high school with, so they'll know who it is.
Exactly.
And that's how I know. I be like, you a Facebook friend. When they say it all, I'll be like, wrong person. That is not my legal name. And then, with that Facebook, look at me segue, with that there Facebook, like you put that information on there. And I'm thinking, how many people put their real information on there? It's people that really do. And it's people that have an attitude. This one dude, no lie, told me, he was like, well, what is it? Either you live here or you live there. How about, who are you? Right. He got an attitude. Because I was somewhere else and was like, well, it says that you live here. Who are you?
Yeah.
And why is it your concern what I put on my page? I hate when people
Mr.
want to come
Carter.
on and say something.
I just think the thing is that when Facebook started, it was this really nice place. Now it's this creepy.
It is, because they don't even want
There's
you.
a whole bunch of creeps. There's a lot of good people, and there's some creeps out there.
All right, let's go with the ice cream lickers.
Oh.
You remember that? You remember that commercial? They be like, "You lit liquor." I used to love that commercial. What was that? The Orbit gum or something? But now the young people, I guess it's a challenge. They go into the grocery stores and they lick the ice cream and they put it back.
Which is stupid because now you're getting a federal charge.
Oh, girl, let me
you
catch you.
missed
And Miss Kim Ham to go to. Girl.
Two of them to lick the ice cream and put it back, and one of them to
They open the ice cream and lick it out.
And lick it, and then they put it back. And then these clowns record it. And that's how, and one was in Texas Walmart, and she is being charged with a felony. That's a felony.
First of all, do
20
people
years.
understand Walmart has the best security in the world? They may not always get you, but they saw you.
Listen,
But
they got it.
but
Go
don't they
ahead.
understand that Texas ain't the place you want to do dumb stuff in?
Exactly.
Like,
Right.
all the places, be your best behaved in Texas.
But then there's another one that did it, and then one that opened up mouthwash, drank the mouthwash, gargled, spit it back in the bottle, put it. That's on video too. You are stupid. These stores have videos. What is wrong with y'all? That's just nasty.
That is nasty.
Why do
How
that
would you
anyway?
like to pick
But
up
I see, I'm with you.
Why do
Why?
that
What's
anyway?
the purpose? Like, y'all don't have nothing else to do?
Nothing to do. But please understand this, people. If I walk in the store and see you licking something and put it back or gargling, I'm punching you. Period.
Yep, she's.
Because that's nasty.
Listen, the voice of the community says she will go to jail.
I will go to jail for
She will
popping
go to jail for right, and
that's
that's
nasty.
what needs to happen. Like,
but
they wait to know
something and somebody picks it up.
That's why
and
they
gives it to their child.
And see, it's a state felony, and they're trying to do it as a federal felony.
So what is this? Is it because they're tampering with food?
Is this
Yes,
a truth or dare or
it's-
something? I'm
And
trying to get
I
to
think it's like a chat. Listen, why was they eating Tide Pods or washing
Oh
machine?
yeah, they were doing that.
Who? Why?
For Facebook and Instagram likes and Snapchat likes.
That's the
what
problem,
it
though,
is
that
now.
your mind is that
Because
crazy.
we're raising a society of people with no boundaries.
But
No limits. There's nothing to say you've gone too far.
now here's the thing. I got a problem. Don't you put that spoon back in there after you done licked all on it for ice cream.
Double dip your chip at
Right.
a party.
And then you gonna go and just lick the ice cream. But who said this was a bright idea? Remember I said on the one show you had, back in the day, you had 10 people, and then you had that one person, and they be like, hey, we should rob a bank. And then the other 9 people was like, man, this cat crazy. And then now we're in a generation where you got 9 people saying we should rob this bank. You got that one person that's saying, these people crazy. What is happening? Are we accepting so much that they're like, okay, with no consequences, that it's like, this is what we do? Even like with the terrorists, not even the terrorists, I say these young people that's going into the schools shooting everybody for recognition. Is it that for validation? Go, Kim. Is it that serious?
Yes.
People want to be, because everything
She gonna be known.
Media, yeah.
Oh, she gonna be
Everything is done for social media likes and to be viral. And yeah, you're going to be viral all right. Now you're going to be viral in jail. Wishing that you had never, in the first place, listened to the cameraman.
How many
Go
years?
ahead, lick it.
How
Go
many
ahead.
years?
Up to 20.
For licking some ice cream. Girl, you
Yeah,
should have just paid
jackass.
$3.99. Just
Yeah.
paid your little $3.99.
Thank you.
Go ahead, live studio audience.
Okay, now you asked you just asked a question. Is it that serious? Your response was yes. Can you please elaborate on that?
The conversation we're having. First of all, like I just said, we are creating a generation of no boundaries. Number one, we've gone from ultra conservative to ultra liberal. And when you are in a group of people and you're trying to belong and you're trying to fit in, everything we do, you are seeking worth, gratification, or security. 100% of the time. So you have all of these people, validation, appreciation, control. No matter what it is, that is what you're seeking. That is the thing that you thrive off of at the time you make a decision. So if you are in a group of people and you're trying to belong, you want to be a part of something, or you're trying to gain something, because now gratification is immediate. That sense of belonging is immediate. We don't have patience. We don't have limits. We're becoming the minority. This group right here, we're saying, is it that serious? Our people are so desensitized. What's the big deal about licking ice cream in Walmart?
A whole lot.
No, it's a whole lot to you. Oh, you did it. Girl, that was crazy. I can't believe you did that. Now she's validated. She has worth. She is somebody.
Oh, she's somebody that's going to be doing 20.
Yeah.
That's
Roxanne!
why repercussions need to come on that. It doesn't need to destroy her entire life, but she needs to know, and that needs to go viral, that this is not okay.
Limits must be set.
Well,
where is the
it's
mindset?
another girl. It's another female that just did it again. It's like a new challenge. And like she was saying with the mouthwash, you gonna gargle and spit it back in there? I'm a mouthwasher.
Here's the problem.
Exactly.
If I was going to do that, I'm not thinking about the police. I'm thinking about Wayne Hightower gonna jack me up if I get caught doing it.
Consequences. Oh, girl.
Your parents.
Ooh, so I guess that's the answer.
That fear from home.
Where is it coming from that that's even okay?
What do you say, Roogle? What do you think? What vein do you think your son would be in? Do you think he'd be thinking about the police or you?
He'd probably be thinking about the consequences to his future because and like for example, the issue is like, and this is what I can't stand about this generation of people, is that people's like, oh, we got a no snitch mentality, but then we put everything on social media. The other thing about it is like, it just it baffles me that like this is a generation of people who should know that you have a data fingerprint or whatever you want, footprint or whatever, that is never going to go away once it's in the media or once it's on social media. And you do these things knowing that it's something that's going to follow you for your future, even though like everyone educates you, hey, be responsible when you use this stuff, because
who teaches them that though, Roogle? Who teaches them that?
Yeah.
That's where are they getting the learning from?
I taught my son that.
And I taught my daughter that, because before she licks that ice cream, she's going to think of me. What happens when I go home if I get caught?
I think the idiots didn't realize.
Remember, people would get. You ain't even sneak the ice cream without asking for it at the house that was paid for. So to just do something like that, I
no
don't.
Boundaries, no limits, Mel. Nobody to answer to. No consequence.
Yeah. I was at it.
So is it parenting, Roogle?
It's parenting. I was at a situation. I was at the laundromat.
I'm sorry.
And I had my stuff in the basket, right? I bring hangers. I had stuff. I had them in the basket, in a couple bags, and it's all these other baskets. But then I see this kid remove the stuff from my basket and put it on the table. What? And I come in because I stopped at a car. I was like, "What is you doing?" I was like, "I put my stuff in the basket for a reason. It's designated my basket, and it's like 7. It's only like 3 people in the.
So that just goes
baskets everywhere because it was inconvenient for them to walk to go get another basket. They decided to take the time out and take the stuff out of my basket.
Immediate gratification.
And I was like. I didn't cuss because it was a kid. I mean, it was a young person. You know what I mean?
That's bananas.
I thought it was a young adult or whatever. But I was like, hey, the intent of that was that it was, because our way we grew up is like, oh, if I call it, it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Period. So like now you going into other areas of just plain old disrespect because it was other baskets.
But they chose
yours was
to
closer,
take
it was right there.
Mine was closer because it was by my
But don't it take more time?
Take the basket back.
It's the principle.
I gave a stern talking to in a because because what I'm gonna do, start fighting with this person for this basket?
No,
Nick
would.
No, I ain't gonna fight the child, but I'm gonna.
She gonna take it right back out.
Basket back.
I'm gonna make you feel bad.
But
now you go home and you think about
Did
that.
Did you get your basket back?
I did not get that basket.
See, he won. What you say, Kim? Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. And
I'd have got my basket back.
Does he know
Thank you.
about validating the person whose stuff is in that basket? Does he know that everybody has a worth and that there are boundaries and that there are processes to do things? How does he know?
That stern talking to didn't mean nothing.
Because I said, hey,
get your basket back.
When this is a claim item, like, do you? And then it kind of looked like the look was like they didn't know what to say. Like they were like embarrassed, but like kind of like it was like they were malfunctioning. Like I don't know, you know. But it was just like, it was like, okay, what am I also have to be smart about
so you
what I'm going to do too.
A teacher, so you use
know
it as a
so I
teacher.
can be like, give me that goddamn basket back right now. Don't you know you disrespected me? I'll kill you, ain't murder, death, kill. I can't
saying that.
But I'm saying like I even like sometimes the least of aggression, it can be seen as a full-on threat.
How about?
And I'm not. I don't want to have to go through the issue of now I got to explain this because this person was in their feelings about being told that they did
That's
wrong.
the problem. America is in their feelings.
In their feelings. And can't nobody tell you wrong. You got me messed up.
Well, on a Friday night,
here,
it ain't worth me trying to get bailed out on a Saturday morning.
I get that, but you know how I would have responded?
Oh
My response would have been, if that was my basket, I would have politely grabbed my basket back and took whatever their stuff was in it and took it right back out and took my basket.
Right.
And then basically, I don't have to say anything because a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Basically, like, excuse me.
What's your thoughts, live studio audience? She always, we call her mop and glow. That's what my sister call her. She always want to clean everything up. You'd be like, it'd be something. She'd be like, well, you really shouldn't do. Well, I was like, listen.
Well, here's where I'm at with that.
Go ahead.
I like it at catch-22 a little bit. How long had that basket been sitting there that a person could think that someone just decided I changed
to abandon the basket?
Exactly.
Did you abandon the basket?
No, because it was only a few of us in the laundromat. So like it's other baskets around, other empty baskets around. My basket.
I was in the grocery store. You in the laundry.
Yeah, my basket.
on your own with that.
My basket had.
I'm not touching somebody else's clothes.
It had my hangers in it.
Yeah, I'm not.
It had my hangers and my bags in it. So you see what I'm saying? Like I'm like.
would have got another basket.
Yeah.
I got another basket.
I mean, and the thing was,
I thought you were in the grocery
they were
store
there
basket.
before. No, they were there before I was there. So they seen this.
So they
whole
know
thing
it's
happen.
yours.
Okay. Therefore, that's why you should have got your basket back.
Now, how would you have handled that?
I'd have walked over there nicely, grabbed my, excuse me, you saw my stuff in here. This is my basket, and I'd have grabbed it back. I wouldn't have argued. I wouldn't have been cussing or nothing. I'd have just gotten my basket back.
I'd have just got another basket.
That's what I would have done.
And put my stuff in the basket. They would have seen that I'm here.
Well, they knew.
They knew.
That's what he said. They knew.
They knew the conversation with you. Was this male, female? What was that? What was the age range? Maybe they wanted to open up.
The difference between a black male versus a black female, the response, he's right. The response would have been different. So we could respond one way and it's not taken as a threat. So now you got this black male that's sitting there and they're going to be like, oh yeah, look at him. So he probably right. He's like, I don't want to get bailed out of jail for no hangers and some garbage bags.
Like it was, but I gave a stern talking to. This basket was claimed, as you can see from the hangers.
But it was still the principle.
Yeah, I did it like I was, the Beaver's father. I did it,
a young person?
I would say, yeah.
A ballpark. So. Let's give us age range.
I don't know. Okay, it was at 10:30 at night in the laundromat. So I'm assuming that if you at the laundromat 10:30 at night, you at least 18.
Okay.
Old enough to know better, especially if they was there.
Right.
And they
but you ain't trying to fight over no. I got you. I got you. Choose your battles.
I got you too, but that battle would have been won by me.
Listen, 10:30 at night, I'm just gonna get another bag.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know what they had in their system.
Yeah, I got another basket. I mean, because it was another basket in the area.
I got stuff to do in life, and I'm just gonna get another basket.
Yeah, 10:30 at night, it changes
so
it.
let me say, it was 10:30 at night.
It changes
make sure
it.
Y'all know that.
It changes my
on
response.
Friday
It's
night.
1 o'clock in the morning.
10:30.
That was my basket, and you saw my stuff in it. I'm getting my
Listen,
basket.
it's a difference now. 10:30 at night on a Friday night. 18, we already know they licking ice cream. Listen, I would have said just what I would have did what you had done. And you see in my mind, I'm like laundromat. I'm thinking early in the day because people don't usually go. I'm like, oh, well, wait a second. But
I be
It
trying
looked to be 18.
Those night hours. I go at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, well, you ain't got to deal with nobody.
Yeah.
You still got to deal with people. But
It's
so you
it's
don't know
always
what this
someone
person...
there because it's somebody that thinks kind of like you.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
You took your basket.
Yes. Right. It's like, he deboed you. Give me that. I'm taking this.
It's so much more to this conversation that it will be an off-air topic. But,
Okay.
But it was kind of like, I was just like, what do I do in this moment? I was thinking like, because it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, even me redirecting the person could have been like, well, why you're threatening me because I took a basket? You don't own the basket. The laundromat own the basket. Even though your stuff is blah, 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 this and that. It's like all these other things. Yeah. And so I got another basket, but I gave a stern talking to.
So you use
with no cussing.
Your communication skills. Yeah, no cursing, Nick. No cursing.
I wouldn't have cursed, but I'd have got my basket.
Yeah, she want to go all the way there.
Like, go viral. She going viral.
Yeah, right. Hey, listen, that's probably why Sister Betty.
I wouldn't have cussed at all. I would have been nice, but I would have gotten my basket.
Listen, all right, moving on. Remember the terrorist attack that happened in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Where they did the shooting at that concert and all that other stuff. Well, Officer Cordell Hendricks, did you hear anything about that? This it happened in October 2017. October the 1st. I was in Vegas for my birthday in September, and it was right after. And that hotel was right over there. They had the Michael Jackson Experience that I wanted to see. I was like, ooh. Anyway, the officer, Cordell Hendricks, he didn't respond. He had a rookie with him. Now, we're not police officers, but I just want to ask you this question. Would you, and the shooter was up on the next floor, would you have stopped? Because they fired him. Because they said other people probably wouldn't have been killed if he responded. Now, follow me. Remember the school shooting with the guy that was the security? The older probably was like, I'll be a school police officer. Had no idea he was, I'm not going to work the streets no more. This is safe. He had a rookie officer with him, and he said that he froze in fear.
The rookie froze or the seasoned officer?
The seasoned officer froze.
Wow.
So do you think, what would you do in that situation?
Okay, as to
go up and apprehend the shooter that was up on the second floor.
Well, you got to. Because
that's your job.
Yeah, but it's your job.
It's your duty.
But it's also like if you can stop the situation from happening where people who don't have any protection are being mauled down by bullets, then you have to do something. And that ain't even the fact that's not even if he was a police officer. That's just if you are in a situation to be able to, wouldn't you want somebody, that's like if I pass out and everybody keep walking past me like, oh, he'll wake up, or if he won't, he don't, what's in his wallet, and just keep on moving. I just kind of feel like there's some obligations that come over people that make them act.
Okay.
It's just like when we hear about when it, like, after 9/11 and then it was people on the plane talking about they was going to do something, what happened? Regular people start beating them down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people's like, hey, this is a real thing.
Kind of like what Nick said, if she sees somebody licking ice cream in the grocery store, she punch them in the face, bail her out. Yeah. I ain't mad at you because if I pick it up, I don't want it. What do you think, Kim?
Was he on duty at the time?
Yes.
He was properly
trained. He responded.
And he was properly trained on how to respond to that situation?
Yes.
Then, yes, there should be a consequence for that. If he was off duty, this would be a different conversation. If he was working and this situation occurred and he has been trained on how to handle it and he didn't, that's like me as a nurse being trained on a situation and I didn't.
Like Roogle passed out and we just keep walking.
We don't get a pass on the job on how to handle a crisis.
We sure don't.
Yeah.
We sure don't.
And truthfully, morally, you don't get, when you off the clock, you don't really.
He's not capable of doing the job.
That's right.
Because if fear overtook him, that might be a message to him that it's time to retire.
Exactly.
Well, they helped him. They fired him.
Yeah, well, that's what they were supposed to do.
They were supposed to. Because
not to say more lives or less lives, but he had an issue.
You knew the job description when you took it.
That's right. And he had an issue. He's unable to fulfill the duties.
Okay.
Then I wouldn't feel safe with you help in any situation with him on duty around me. No.
But now, according,
He can't go to the laundromat with you.
No, he couldn't go to the laundromat with me.
he ain't going. Yeah. Oh no, he couldn't go. Nah.
He wouldn't help. I'd probably end up in jail or shot behind him.
With him, and forget the person that took the basket,
exactly.
right? Well, here's the thing. Their policy at the police station where he resided, it states that you can't go into a situation with a rookie officer. Now, here's what's...
Oh, well, that puts a whole different light on it.
It does, but here's my thing. You got to call. You knew what was going on. Active shooter. They say that.
Yeah.
Why did the rookie even go?
Exactly.
Well, okay, I mean, my thoughts is like...
Guess what rookie wasn't? I quit today.
If you like, that's one of those things where you got to say, like, you got to make it, okay, that's one of those things where the rule is against you, but you got to make that decision on what rule that what's the rule that you're willing to break at this time.
Mandalay Bay, the 32nd floor. Go ahead.
Like, what's the rule that you're willing to break at that time? Like, the rule at that time should have been like, well, we breaking this rookie thing, you getting baptized by fire today, versus like, and I don't know, no pun with that, but
no pun intended.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the rule is like it should be protect and serve should be the hierarchy of the day. You know what I mean? So okay, I got this rookie with me, but it's better for me to have a trained person with no experience helping me versus nobody.
My thing is when they fired him.
When you're a rookie, you on orientation. What we normally do.
He got a gun. He got weapons.
He
got a badge. He swore the oath. No.
But the trained officer in that position, though, his judgment call is: do I save the rookie or do I expense us both? And
see, that's where I'm at.
That's where he's at. Because there's a rule now. The rule is the rookie is not to be involved. So really, it's just this cop on his own in this situation. Do I spare?
Now look at me talking about the rookie in the orientation. They be in the orientation the whole time.
But Ruggle's right. We have rules here. So which rule do I follow?
So either way, he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't, and there you go.
He could have gone.
Guess what? He alive.
But it's all but sometimes you did. Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
And sometimes you don't know how to think in a crisis like that. Sometimes.
So he'd have been fired either way. If the rookie got killed.
Because of the
he might have been given a damn medal, both of them. If they would have intervened. Well,
if the family of the rookie wants to file a wrongful death suit because your protocol said he wasn't supposed to be involved.
That's true. But at the same time, I think the thing is, hey, sue, but sue. If you feel like you got to sue, then sue. But at the other end of that, though, too, you fully understand the expectations and desires of that individual who got involved with that piece. And if they made the decision to say, because the rookie could have said, hey, I'm walking away. I ain't got nothing to do with this. But instead of him even having that opportunity to make a decision, the other guy just said, hey, well, this is we're not supposed to go, so we ain't going to go.
But if that rookie doesn't know what to do, was the rookie on the first day of the job or the 90th day of the job? Maybe the rookie does not even understand the protocol, and you're walking in there blind. That's like if I'm going to do... So Melanie is me and Mel work together. And I'm training Mel, and we walk into a situation, and I see that there's a crisis. If I cut this man open and she doesn't know what to do, I'm gonna lose him anyway.
But the thing is, like, what happens with the issue of Good Samaritan? Now you may say that, well, that seems like a stretch in this conversation. But if you talk about the ability to ascertain that something needs to be done, and then the mobilization to actually do something. I just kind of felt like in that situation, the people obviously can't protect themselves from the shooter. But right now,
because they're defenseless and they don't even know where it's coming from.
But right now, we are the best chance to stop as many casualties as possible.
And that's where they are.
And that's where I felt.
That rookie with Solomon or Malik, they going in.
That
rookie, they're not thinking about the law because they are responsive and protective in nature. They're going in. They bringing that down.
Do I have time to tell this true story?
Yes, you do.
True story. happened right here in Youngstown, Ohio, at one of our main auditoriums. Out of respect for the family, I'm not going to name which auditorium.
Okay.
We went to the auditorium to see a play. This was back in the day when we had all these plays going on at the auditorium.
Y'all about to have them again?
Yep, so those in this room might know which auditorium it was. Anyway, we were at the play, and there was this man who came to the stage, and he said, if there's a doctor or a nurse in the house, can you please come down to the first floor? Now, I'm a nurse. I did not move. I'm sitting in the balcony. Second time, the man came up to the stage.
I felt like I was there.
He said, is there a doctor or a nurse in the house? Can you please come down to the first floor? I didn't move. The third time that man came to the stage, he said, a doctor, a nurse aide, a lab tech, if anybody with any medical background at all is in the house, I need you to come to the first floor. I am not lying. 20 of us got up in that balcony. By the time we got downstairs, there was another 20 on the floor. There was a person who had gone into cardiac arrest at the play. Now, there were so many of us there that we had to start shouting out credentials to see who was going to be in charge of this code until the ambulance showed up. My point is this. The first thing all of us thinking is, I ain't going to jail. I ain't getting involved. I don't know what the Good Samaritan law is about, and I don't know how serious it is. Is it right? No. But you got to go to the mindset of the person at the time of the crisis. Just like on Wheel of Fortune, when Pat Sajak said, when you sitting at home watching TV, it's always your turn. It's different when you're up here on this stage. You can't just say, here's a situation, this is how you handle it, because you don't know how that person is processing at the time. So many of us was at this person. By the time we got there, all of us couldn't take care of them anyway. So, are we wrong to want to protect our own integrity in a situation where we know everybody is so happy? Or when the crisis gets so bad, do we go ahead and jump on it and take the chance anyway? Now, I'm not saying I was right to sit there. I'm not saying I was wrong. But when they made it dire clear that somebody needed help, there were so many of us we couldn't even get to this person. So what I'm saying is, it's easy for us to sit here and say what you would do. But when it is actually happening, you really don't know what you would do.
No, you really don't.
Because I'm telling you, all of us got up and we all looking at each other because it was like, wow.
But in this situation with this police,
crisis, and the person expired. They were not revived.
Yeah, but with that situation, and the situation that happened in Las Vegas, though,
it was still a life or death situation.
But you on duty. If you a doctor,
he was on duty, and you weren't.
He on duty. Yeah. He it wasn't like he was off the clock. And even if he was off the clock, and he had the ability to do something.
Do I protect the rookie that I've been assigned to, or do I go out here and kill us both with the machine gun going off?
And we got this little pow.
He's assessing the situation. He hears what's happening.
Then the situation.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then the situation. If you didn't want to take in the rookie and go kick in the door or whatever that was, you could have been like, go down there and do crowd control. If we know that everybody over here getting shot, get everybody to go to the other side of the building. Like there could have been some action.
How many shooters are there? Where is the shooter at?
They don't know yet.
We don't know all of that. But to do nothing versus to do something is the issue here.
To do nothing according to the protocol, do not involve a rookie in a situation. What was the response time of the other officers? What don't we know that he's trained to know?
Well, obviously. Let's just cut to the chase.
Go.
If they felt that what he did was the right decision, he would still have his job.
Right.
But he followed a rule. So is he wrong for following one rule and breaking another, or should they relook at the situation? Has the rules been modified?
I'm sure they probably have been modified after this.
I think the thing is
how many wrongful terminations are there? What will be what is this the final say? Will he come back?
He said fear. He said fear. So that's why he got fired.
So if he was just sheer fear,
and
he should have been fired.
And they looked at the tape and he was like in shock. He just stood.
And how many years was he on the force?
Who knows? I don't know, but they said
long enough to have a rookie under his stand.
But if fear was his only
if you put
I'm just saying, like, I just kind of feel like I get what you're saying. But I just think that you got to make decisions in the moment.
Well, if he said fear, then he should be fired.
He did. He admitted to hesitating. He admitted to hesitating and not knowing what to do. So he drew a blank.
Yeah, but fear.
He did not know what to do.
That's what he said.
He did not know what to do because he wasn't trained, or he did not know what to do because
he
was so scared.
Assailant.
He froze.
So it wasn't that he wasn't trained on it. It was that he was trained, but in the situation he froze.
Right.
Because since it seems like since he admitted that it was fear, maybe if he would have just did the job, even though he had a rookie with him and there's rules against it, they may have just suspended him for a minute.
But let's talk about this though. This element of fear. Fear is not fear. Okay, there's fear. Because, hey, if you're in a situation, even if you come out on the other side of that situation good, you were fearful in the moment.
Fight or flight.
You know,
it's
but
a normal
the thing
response.
is, like, I mean, like, because I think about,
Flighted.
I think about like 9/11. I think about the firefighters and all those people seeing this plane hit these buildings, but still knowing that I gotta go up in this building to try to save these people. I mean, I'm sure they have fear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
they acted. They acted even knowing that this is not going to turn out good.
Not everybody.
They saved themselves.
That's right.
Yeah,
They was like, I'm not going.
Everybody did.
But let me say this.
Did,
I feel you.
And they knew there was great consequences if a building just got hit by a plane and it's on fire all damn morning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I think that's the thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't like it. Like, we all going to be fearful when terrible things happen. But then what are you going to do? And those people put themselves first to try to save others.
He was trained to behave in a situation like that, and with his training, he failed to do so. Well, that is how it has been explained.
No, go ahead. I just want
these is unprecedented experiences.
Let me tell you what was a precedent experience. I know what I chose to do. I know the line of work. I made a conscious decision to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to save lives. That's why I had an issue with that law that they had with the felony and these people taking drugs and all that other stuff, that the fentanyl, because what happens is I'm not a police officer, but if I see somebody experience somebody just pass out, my natural instinct is to respond. And that's why I said that's not, when they wanted to make it a misdemeanor with the fentanyl. Here's the problem. I don't do anything, but with those people being exposed, you remember that whole law and you was for it?
What you talking about?
As far as like
issue
downtown?
1?
And I think it was issue 1 where they didn't want to make it a felony. I said, yeah, make it a felony because I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
And I would be that person.
Yes.
I was like, I'm a first responder. Yes. I will sit there. I don't care who it is. I might not do mouth to mouth. I ain't gonna lie, because my mind is still be functioning. But I'm gonna start some chest compressions. I'm just gonna start and go. And I'm not gonna, that fear kind of just goes away. It's like save a life, and you just automatically go. Uh-huh. And I have gone. I have probably like 4 or 5 people. Now I ain't killing these people to just save them either. But I have been in that situation where you just do it and you just go. You come, they like, oh, we got a medical emergency. You go, bam, put them on the floor. Let's do it. That's what you do. And in that situation, like I said, I'm not a police officer. I probably wouldn't have had time to think, because what happens is you don't even think about yourself. When you actually know what it is that you're doing and you sign up for that job. So you are right. It's like, this is what I plan to do. I plan to save lives. I'm okay. I made a conscious decision that this is my career choice. So I'm going to go in, and just like she was saying, like Malik, certain officers would just go in. Hey, this is it. We ain't getting paid like that, but my job is to save the people. And you just go and you respond, where he actually froze. So I see why he got fired, and he went to fear. And
doesn't make him a bad person.
He just that ain't his ministry.
So in my family, I have several correction officers, police officers, law enforcement. That's part of what's in my family. Do you know what they are trained? This is their training. You come to work in the morning, and you make sure you go home that night.
And it is. That's the goal, and that's what they say. And guess what my training is? I come to work, you alive. When I leave, you alive.
So you gotta
order or not,
all of it. We've had this discussion because we're nurses in law enforcement. So obviously the same conversation happens all the time.
Yes.
And when we have these debates about the people who are getting killed by the officers and things like that, nobody's trying to justify bad police work. Okay, let me say that.
Uh-huh.
But they are trained that at the end of your shift, you
go home to your family.
Home to your family.
And you are absolutely right.
But going home to your family shouldn't be neglect certain duties.
You're right.
You're right. And in this case, the guy did neglect his duty. And I agree with that.
Because I think under certain circumstances, the issue is like, if there is a reason for me to have to pull my weapon and it's a justifiable reason, then I have to act in that moment. You know what I mean?
That's true, because you don't pull that weapon until you intend to shoot.
Exactly.
That is what you
want. And so we've had, I mean, we about to go down a whole nother path. Yeah. But there's been a lot of people that's been shot that have been no threat.
That's true too.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
that's true too.
So I just kind of feel like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like the if he would have made the other decision, then we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
True.
And one thing that brings it to this is another topic, because what's his name? Clint Eastwood made a movie about it. It was the 3 soldiers that were off duty, and they were in Europe or something on a train, and there was a terrorist on the train or something, and they took them down. It was the 3 of them, And I don't know what if once you're in the army or whatever military, if you're ever truly off, but they weren't in uniform. They were just, 3 guys. And it was this terrorist, and they took him out. Or they stopped him from doing what he was going to do. And then Clint Eastwood made a movie about it, and he put him in the movie. You know what I mean? So I like sometimes, I mean, like, not to say that it's always going to turn out in a movie for you, but here were people who could have consciously made a decision without anybody knowing who they were. Right. Not to do anything. They didn't have any uniforms. They didn't have any guns. They didn't have anything like that. All they had was the 3 of them, and they knew this guy was going to kill people, and they stopped him.
So he should have just went on ahead and just not showed up.
Basically.
Look at Nick. She all calm. She over there like, whatever. She's still thinking the way she thinking. She was like, basically.
He should have He should have been radio in. Like, hey, we need backup. This is a situation. Like, dude,
because they were on the 31st floor. This happened on the 32nd floor.
And they were on the floor below?
They were on the floor below, and he froze. So he wasn't even at the door.
Come on, though. I mean, but you a stairwell. You ain't got to wait on the elevator. All you gotta do is get to the nearest stairwell and go up a flight of stairs. You can hear the guns where it's coming from. Like okay, all right.
So how you feel now, knowing that
I feel even worse about.
All right, I'm sure he froze on the 31st floor. I didn't want to put all that out there right at that time. I wanted to hear the dialogue. He froze on the 31st floor. He wasn't even on the 32nd floor, which he would have been a little more safer to being on the 32nd floor than the 31st, because he could have just shot down. You know what I mean? You just don't know.
Well, I mean, he could have did like a Bruce Willis and like heard what
you watch too much TV.
You hear like
the movie guy.
He was trying to even think of what his plan of attack should be.
See, that's what I'm thinking. You assess.
Like you hearing rapid fire, and you got this little pow. Do you know what I mean? So what should I do?
This gun ain't gonna do nothing. That's like going in with mace.
Call for backup, but in the meantime, what should I do?
Stand there and get shot and be a target.
But the thing is like...
But at least you would have saved a lot of other people, whoever else
But you
he
can
shot.
get the jump on a person. I'm like, he focused on doing this. You coming in from behind. Because the dude is clearly shooting out of a window, and you coming in through the door. Or you can pull a Bruce Willis, and let's say he was in 3201. You go to 3101 or 31, and then you shoot up in the ceiling or something. I don't know. But you do something.
Even
if it's like to evacuate the floor.
Now here's the thing. Something. So the people that did something, they went in after he killed himself.
Wow. Yeah.
Sips tea.
Coffee.
Oh, this isn't tea. This is water. Listen. So that when they went in, he had killed himself.
How many people were like? It was how many people were killed in that thing?
I can't remember.
I know it was
offhand. I'll look
70 shot, but I don't remember what the number of fatalities were.
We'll get that information right to you. Now the cop that didn't enter the school during the Florida shooting. How you feel about? Well, he resigned before he got fired.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
Same difference. Even more of an urgency.
Man, listen. You going in, this cat got explosives and you like with a water gun.
So?
You going in with your water. You getting them wet. You getting them wet, huh, Roogle? You're going to be wet.
Even the thing is, it's like when you hear
call for backup.
You call for backup, but when you hear about those stories and you hear about because you talking about the one
in Florida
where the boy stopped him and he ended up getting shot and died. Right?
Yeah. Somebody with no weapon. I got you. And this cat on the little golf court.
So I'm saying, like, even if you ain't taking on the main person, there is still things you can do. Because whenever you hear about these stories, it's always about that one classroom where the teacher was like, "Hey, I did this to the door, and I huddled the kids over here. Like, I did what was in my locus of control to do something." But if you just choose not to do anything, and you the guy that everyone's counting on, come on.
And why did the teacher do that? Because the teacher was trained to do that.
So
when the situation
But isn't that sad? Go ahead. Finish your thought.
But if I'm a police officer and I'm here shooting in this school and I'm there to protect this school from this kind of thing,
his training didn't kick in, so maybe that's the time to change careers.
That's
what that's
right. That's what happened with the school shooting. He was retiring.
It's like, but he retired. The test of his intestinal fortitude came after the situation happened. The problem is can we somehow weed out people who are not fit, who don't feel like if you're not the person to sit by the emergency exit on the plane, they ask you can get up out of this seat. I'm like, oh, don't worry about this.
Most people pick it so they have leg room.
Oh yeah, but the thing is like I want to, like, I know, like, if
you gonna say to people,
I'm opening the door. I can do it.
Yeah, now that is awesome. Yes, you can. Let me give you the facts real quick. The 2017 Las Vegas shooting, he killed 58 people and wounded 422. And it was more than 1,100 rounds of ammunition from that 32nd window. 32nd floor window.
They don't talk about
1,100 rounds.
Yeah.
Versus how many in the gun? 12?
Well, he had what kind of gun did he have?
Yeah, pretty much.
Super soaker.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you about to be wet. That's it. Like,
I don't know but how long does it take somebody to shoot to do that much damage?
How long? Now I think it said over an hour or something like that. Not even they said an hour is when they went in, when they finally went in.
But you know what? I think if they have that training, they need to probably have that training more often. So if you had that training 15 years ago, you need to have it like maybe yearly so that it stays.
Go back in. Oh, like we got to do, Kim.
But I kind of feel like,
yes.
I think they probably do get regular training. But my thoughts is like this: an armed assailant is an armed assailant. The situation's always change. It may not be the grocery store.
You love Marvel. You're a superhero.
No, the point.
That's why you're going to save the world.
It's like you on the floor below. And a whole hour go past, and all you hear is pop, 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 and you don't do anything. Come on, man. You at least can evacuate the floor that the shooting is coming from, or something.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
But listen, that's why she responds the way that she responds, because she loves Marvel, and she gonna take her basket back with her cape. And you gonna save the world because you love Marvel.
I love Marvel.
And you going in with a squirt gun.
DC.
You do it. You like, I can do this. I'm gonna spray the ceiling. It's gonna be wet.
Hey, I'm just saying that there's times where you have to make the tough choice.
Yes.
And the thing is like this is like, sometimes the choice is you may not prevail, but can you sleep at night with the decision that you made?
Now that's it in a nutshell.
And I don't know. Maybe there is too much. Maybe I read too much Greek mythology as a kid.
No, but you're right, because that's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. I'm gonna tell you something that I see that happened locally. A young man, he drowned, and this young man, when he drowned, I know the other children, and then I heard another teen that said he couldn't swim. He did not just go in that water. They pushed him in that water. I said, why do you feel that way? Because I had to ask. I'm always going to ask why. And he said, because I was always there, and he couldn't swim, this young kid. He was like, and they always was trying to pull us into the pool, throw us in the pool at the Y. He happened to be up at this place, and he felt like, he said, they put him in the water. They threw him in the water, and that's why he drowned. Now, that was in my mind, because that stayed. And I see a young man that this other young man said, and I bet I know who it was, because he played too much and he always would do it. That young man looks so sick right now. So when you say, can you sleep at night? And I think he has to deal with that guilt, like, I did that.
Yeah.
However, the mother didn't press charges or nothing. She just let it do what it do, which...
And that's funny, because as a young man, there was, and this is my situation, we were at a public pool, and we would always jump in and deep in and all that kind of stuff. And this one kid that was with us, I don't know for what reason, he didn't know how to swim, but he jumped into the pool.
Okay.
Right.
Who's doing that?
So I don't know.
And he was a young kid, though.
Because we was just think I'll follow the leader. So we would jump in the shower. We would run around the pool, jump in the shower which you shouldn't do anyway because you can get killed. But anyway, he jumps in the water.
Pretty much.
And the lifeguard isn't paying attention. I notice it. I jump in. He almost
Look at you saving the world.
Yeah, but he almost drowned me, though.
That's about right.
Because he wrapped himself.
He was so scared.
Yeah, around me. And then at that point, the rest of my friends jumped in before the lifeguard did.
What was the lifeguard on the phone texting?
This was before texting and stuff. She was just
Wasn't paying
chilling,
attention.
talking to somebody or something.
Trying to be cute.
Yeah.
Who, lifeguard, that's for real.
Yeah.
You gotta watch the water.
But I think the thing is like, that story just remind me of that thing. What you said remind me of that event.
I had a gym teacher that almost let me drown in the shallow when I was in kindergarten.
You remember? It was that tragic.
Yes.
So what happened?
My friend is the one that said, cause I forgot I don't know if I fell in. No, she trying to teach us how to swim, pushed me in there. I'm sitting here drunk, and she's standing and I remember looking in the water, her standing on the edge looking at me. My friend Felicia is the one that pulled me up. You know, I went home and told my mom and daddy was up at that school the next day.
What happened? So she just wasn't doing her job?
No, she called herself trying to teach us how to swim, and she wasn't going, lady, I'm drowning. Yes, it was shallow, but I'm a little kid. You don't do that. So that prevented me from learning how to swim. I still want to learn how to swim.
You don't know how to swim?
That scared me to the point where I didn't want to have anything. I'll sit there on the edge of the pool, dip my feet in. I might even play it in the shallow end. But I want to learn how to swim. And that prevented me from learning how to swim because of that irresponsible adult. You're the teacher. You're supposed to be teaching us. If you seen that I couldn't get it together and I was afraid, you were supposed to jump your old sweatsuit behind wearing self.
She wore a sweatsuit?
She wasn't. She had her
Kim's face looking like you wasn't getting saved anyway. She didn't have no intentions of that.
She didn't have no intention on jumping in there because she didn't even have a bathing suit on. Kindergarten child, come on now, in kindergarten. That prevented me from learning how to swim. And to this, I want to learn how to swim, but I'm definitely afraid of water because of that.
Well, that'll do it. That will do it. Hey, Roogle, what's happening in the movie world?
Super Roogle.
Yes, where's with his cake? He's going in.
We're going in.
He's going in.
Going in. Talking about going all in. I was all in for Spider-Man Far From Home, and that was the movie I chose to go see on the 4th of July at 8:15 in the morning. It was a great experience to go see the movie in that early in the morning. Me and my son with my wife, she fell back asleep. She got good and comfortable. Like she turned to her side. She turned to her side and went to sleep.
Kudos to her for even going. She supported you.
Hey, I was like, she ain't have to go. I could have kept that $7 in my pocket. She just, completely to the side. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I ain't even, I ain't seen enough of the comic book thing. And just went to sleep.
That's hilarious. He's like, I got to get up at 8:15. Why do we have to be here this early to see this? Okay, but I'm going to support my husband. Kudos to you.
I was like, everybody up at 6:45. It's time to go. We got to get ready to go.
Oh, Lord.
I wouldn't have went.
I'd have turned over on you, too.
I wouldn't have went.
And snoring.
It was.
Was the movie worth it?
Yes, it was very worth it. And me and my son were having a conversation about this because he liked Tobey Maguire, who was in the first trilogy of Spider-Man, and that was his definitive Spider-Man because that was the one he knew. And I liked Andrew Garfield, who was an amazing Spider-Man, because I thought his Spider-Man was better than the other ones. But I did turn to him during the movie and said, yeah, this Tom Holland guy, he's the guy for Spider-Man, especially because of how he's a kid with this great ability, and they play it like a kid versus playing it like a man. Like there is no like, and not just in this movie, but in other ones, his solution to his problems is not a fist fight. His solution to his problems is, what do I do when there's nothing else I can do but this? You know? And the way they use Mysterio in this movie is probably the best capturing of the spirit of a villain outside of Killmonger that they probably have done. Killmonger was the villain in Black Panther,
Right.
but it was probably the best because of if you're not familiar with the character Mysterio, he's the one that has like the round fishbowl thing on his head, but he's an illusionist. If not necessarily an illusionist, but from the comic book, he was an actor who started to use special effects to do crime. They put a twist on this one, and they show and they have it in such a great, like, the experience is just so great to watch how they did it. How they took the elements of that character and gave you this experience that would be like, well, how would you react if it was you in a first person experience having all these things happen to you in this way, you know? And that so it's a beautiful continuation of Homecoming. It still has the same spirit of it. There was only one thing that I didn't truly like about it, was because in Homecoming there was this I think kid that was like of African descent that was really funny, and unfortunately he wasn't in this movie.
Okay,
but he could have got hit by the snap, and so they play into this snap that happened in the other movies, and it's a spoiler if you haven't watched Endgame, then you probably ain't gonna watch it by now, even though it's been re-released. But they bring back everybody. But what happens is, when the snap happens, people come back in exactly the same place they were when things had happened. Or some people aged, some people didn't, but some people aged out, you know.
Okay.
And I did notice in Endgame that some people, when they came back, they knew that something had happened.
Uh-huh.
And so, question. Iron Man, did they bring up the fact that Iron Man was dead in this Spider? Because I seen his buddy, his chauffeur, does a cameo in this movie.
He's in it. He's in it.
Okay, so
yeah,
it's actually the Spider-Man movie after Endgame, after everybody came back.
Spoilers. If you don't want to hear this, I think you should close your ears.
Excuse me.
It is definitely a continue. It happens the story afterwards, and this movie wraps up Phase 4 of the Marvel universe. Now they're going to go into Phase 5, but this was the definitive ending to Infinity War and that sort of thing.
Okay,
and they do it in a way that is it was quite nice. It's quite nice, and it was in a way where it had the feeling it had the feeling of longing that Spider-Man felt because of the events of Endgame, but it also had this upbeat experience about moving on, recalibrating yourself, figuring out this is what happened, but who am I? And there's a lot of that happens across the board with just the piece in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know I'm gonna be on it.
What other movies? The summer in this. Once you hit July, you be like, summer almost over.
Yeah, there's movies that I haven't seen. There's Men in Black International, which is not doing well at the box office.
Oh,
there's
okay.
Yeah, I didn't go
look at
I wanted to see it because I like the chemistry of those two actors. Mm-hmm. But Liam Neeson was in it, and after his situation, I was like, yeah, I can't support that dude.
What happened? Catch us up
Liam
for the people
Neeson,
that don't know.
When they were actually doing some promotions for this movie early on, he had a conversation with the media, and he talked about one of his friends being raped by a black person. So what ended up happening was, for like a month or so, he kind of walked the streets aimlessly looking for any black person to kill.
Yeah,
and he admitted
did say
this.
that.
He said this.
Liam Neeson said
Yeah,
that's what he said.
this. Yeah.
What? When was this?
When it happened was a while ago.
Yeah, but when he talked about it, it was either the beginning of this year and part of last year.
So when he said this, what was the response to that? What was the feedback? Because I didn't hear anything about this.
And that part of that reason was because his movie was coming out, so nobody really was talking about it.
So they tried to squash it.
Yeah, because before he was in all the previews and all that stuff, then they just cut him out of the previews, and like, but he's still in the movie. I assume I didn't see it. But they cut him out the previews, and they only have like a voice part with him talking in some pieces.
Guess what? Spoiler alert: he got what he deserved in the end. Anyway, go ahead.
So is this a situation where you separate the artist from his mindset?
Yeah, the art from the artist.
Well,
that's right.
Well, I think in this case, the thing is like, I don't know what his goal was from saying the story, but it damn sure wasn't an apology. You know what I'm saying? Like, he put it out there. Nobody knew this. He just put it out there like, yeah, this is what I was going to do.
So did he put it out there as a victim, or did he put it out there as the villain? I mean, where was it coming from? Was he saying, I was so distraught? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where this came from.
But it wasn't like he was like, I'm going to get the guys who did this to my friend.
It was any black person.
It was any black person.
It right around. I think it came out right around the time of Jussie Smollett and all of that.
Yeah, it was something
stuff.
like that. Yeah,
yeah. So everybody is sharing their truths. Sometimes some of your truths you need to just keep to yourself. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what mindset was he in to want to share
even
that.
share that, right?
Well, he was in. I mean, but he
was it an interview? Did he just say it?
It was an interview, but nobody asked him.
Okay.
Like, he just like, let me tell you this.
Kind of like Cardi B.
Like,
She said she used to rob dudes.
Like she drug him and robbed him. My son won't listen to her music anymore because
that's what I'm saying. Sometimes your truth, you need to just shut up.
He said that she should be
hurting you in the long run.
She should be in jail.
Everything that's happening to R. Kelly, he believes should happen to her.
Right. And
R. Kelly, listen, you know they threw some of those out because he already had been found not guilty.
Well, the thing is, like, why is nobody bringing her on charges for this? You know,
why think she a girl?
Like, why is this not being investigated the way they would do Bill Cosby, any other people who have done things like this? And she admits that she did it. No, they have like,
and they didn't.
She ain't black.
Listen, she admitted she did it, and the other ones didn't.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So
but
he was like,
she is a woman and she's not black. You notice how the black folks, especially our black men, you can't even. Well, a lot of things.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Exactly, and he didn't even do it.
I haven't heard any more about it.
But here's the problem, though. He had to go to jail.
Right.
That's what's happening. You just accuse somebody, just like with the DVs, domestic violence, lovely people, listening audience. You got the DVs, and somebody can just accuse you of something. They're going to arrest you. So it's now, remember before it was innocent until proven guilty. Now it's guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
And he proved himself innocent.
And then he had to post bail.
Right. That's crazy.
That's not okay.
But yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't do it, and they got the tape. Somebody videotape, and they got it. And that's one good thing about people with these cameras now. That with these, cameras on their phone.
Yeah, they ain't like it, but it's helping.
But it helps.
And in the case of Liam Neeson, the thing that goes through my mind is like, you ain't even trying to get the person who did it. You know what I'm saying? You're not
like just randomly out here.
He just went for the whole race.
Anybody who was gonna piss you off at that point in time, where you feel like you had the ability to do something, you was gonna do it. And let's put it like
but
this.
isn't that normal for the white people?
Yeah. But
not all, but I'm covering myself.
But let's also remember though, Liam Neeson he was a professional boxer before. You know what I mean? So he ain't just like a regular person. You know, he's a trained fighter.
We had this conversation not on him, but just like the difference in the culture. Mm-hmm. And I was sharing. I said, the difference between, well, I can't say now, it don't matter, but this was like 20 years ago, between a black shooter and a white shooter. Like if you go into a bar, I said the white cat just shooting everybody. Something happened at the house. Yeah. The black people usually shoot who did something to them.
Yeah.
You be like, I don't even know.
That's true. I used to say that. I'd say you guys do random school shootings. We shoot who we
like
mad.
like anybody will do.
Yeah,
Even now,
we shoot who we
even
mad
now
at.
with that same, they shooting everybody. We shooting a specific person, but
There is.
our people ain't coming back alive. Whereas your people, you just wrestling them down.
Yeah, and I think there is the exception of that.
Yeah,
You
the
have
DC sniper.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't ready to go. That's why I was like, what?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think I was like, and you feel bad for the families, I do. But I was shocked because I knew it was a white dude.
I remember.
And I discriminated. I discriminated with that particular situation. I was like, oh, that's somebody white. When I see like I was like, clutch my pearls. What are you doing, sir?
It isn't so.
Exactly.
Yeah, like what do
We
you
took
mean?
an L
Yeah,
on
say
that
it,
one.
ain't you?
Yeah, we did.
You took an L. You right.
We
It
took
was
an
like,
L on that
man,
one.
what you doing?
You know, that's usually some white people.
Right.
man.
Right. Like, what's happening?
So else in the world, coming out soon is the new Lion King movie, which I'm personally not on board to see. I like the Lion King. The cartoon came on the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this is great," But I'm like, I don't think we needed another one, but it's coming out. Just like
I don't think it was enough time. Like I remember the other Lion King.
I just kind of feel like, like my son was like, well, it's for a new generation. I was like, Lion King is timeless.
Yeah.
I was like, ain't no
Like all the
technology in it.
Disney
It's
classics.
this animals.
Just
it's
go watch
timeless.
the old one. I mean, what's
You know,
the
Here I go with my shallow self.
But
NWA.
Uh-huh.
That's timeless. You don't come bringing no new one. Talk about the new generation, and y'all like doing like the floss and all that. Like no NWA. I can't see them redoing NWA. Compton. What?
Straight out Compton.
Straight Outta
What
Compton.
do you mean? Like that's a
'Cause
biopic.
Well, but they still come. Okay, let me go with actual story. Let's see what's the Christmas Story.
Oh, yeah,
That
you
can't be
really
redone.
gotta
Can't
redo the
remake
Christmas
it.
story.
It's a Wonderful Life. You can't
Yeah,
remake it.
Right.
you just do something different. You don't need to do.
Yeah. So what's happening? Where's the creativity? Like Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm back
Yeah.
to that. That was some music, and listen, they sound freaking amazing.
They do. Their concerts are great.
Well, this is the other thing about Disney. They are coming out with a live action Little Mermaid.
I know, and it's causing controversy
You know why?
Hello.
because she's black. They want the black girl to play Little Mermaid.
This is one of the
Terrible things that they did. They
They're
was
doing-
like,
and
leave
then
Little
there's-
Mermaid white like she was.
right, and then there's a Christian group on Facebook. This is their name: Christians Against the Little Mermaid boycott Halle Bailey. Why?
But
And you
I
call
went
yourself a
Roogle.
Christian?
But here's my thing. I went Roogle. Do something different.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even so much like it's a stretch here. It's like the thing is like my wife is from Nigeria, and like we were talking about Aquaman. She's like, I don't really want to see this, and I was like, why? She's like, because we have a lot of this lore in our about mermaids and people and all that kind of stuff. So it's like
Mermaids aren't real.
well, they may be real. I've never seen one, but I wouldn't count it out. It might be a mermaid.
Don't count it
like
out.
it's werewolves, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was a mermaid yesterday.
yeah.
What's that chick? The everybody be Tommy. What's her name? Tommy Lauren or whatever.
What she do?
She talked about Halle talking about mermaid. Everybody know mermaids are white. Excuse me. Everybody.
Who said this?
Tommy, what's her name? Tommy Lauren, the newscaster.
Oh, the
whatever,
news person.
Yeah, the news person. My thing is, with the whole thing is just some of these things are timeless classics. Don't redo them. But these people are not upset because they're being redone. They're upset because black people are in them and in the lead roles. Was we real mad about Cleopatra being Liz Taylor? We all know that Cleopatra was black.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing with this is that like
Point taken.
through the white lens, they think that they are the only ones who like for example, one story that one event that is captured through almost all history is the floods of in the ones that we say Noah's Ark or whatever. That's captured in other cultures. The issue is that white people, for the most part, may say, well, this was made for us by us, so it should only be representative of us. But there are cultures who believe, who had the mythos of mermaids and different things like that. It's not theirs alone. It's just that was the one. That's just the way it was represented,
introduced.
Yeah.
And usually when you are
to them,
listen, I used to watch Young and the Restless.
Mm-hmm.
There could never be another Victor. I don't care, white or black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's how they're introduced, and so you're stuck. It's like, this is the person that I'm used to seeing.
But
who was that? Wait a minute. Who was that in the movie that they wanted, like Michael Jackson? Remember the Michael Jackson movie? And then that white guy wanted to play Michael Jackson.
They did make the movie and he played him.
And you know why he played him? And we accepted it because we already gave Michael Jackson to them. But the people that we have, other people can't play. What was it? Somebody, Will Smith, was it? You remember? We talked about it. It was on some movie.
Muhammad Ali. He played Muhammad Ali.
No, it was a movie that's coming out. I don't think.
It was Will Smith playing. Venus and Serena's dad.
Father. Yeah.
Oh, and here it is, 2 black men, but he wasn't black enough.
Well,
he ain't black enough, so they like, no, they think somebody else should
play the role. The issue was like, if you're gonna cast somebody,
thank you, I appreciate
cast someone who fits the
description?
Character.
Who fits
the
character? For example, if you cast Roogle and it's like a 5'5" white dude, is that proper casting?
No. I ain't doing it. I'm like, that don't look like.
But what I'm saying is, like, there's certain elements that happen because of it wasn't the fact that he was just black, but they were black. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the fact, it was certain elements of the other things that were just like that can't, because we talked about this when they cast what's the girl from, was Zoe, I always mess up her last name. When they cast her as Simone,
she looked like Jada Pinkett to me.
But the point was like, you cast somebody who didn't meet the elements of that character. So sometimes there's things where that can't be expressed, even if you make the person up to look that way. Especially when you think of a generation of people where it was like, well, the lighter you are, the more acceptable you become. You know? I'm just, so I just kind of feel like, but I also feel like Will Smith, that ain't the role for Will Smith.
It's not. I don't think so.
It ain't the role for him.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, he can, like the thing is like this. Let's say we were casting a movie for Barack Obama. And it was like, okay,
somebody better look like Barack Obama and they better be smooth.
But let's say your choices are
Denzel
Washington, Will Smith,
Blair
Underwood, or was it Masharla? I can't think of it. Ali, Masharla.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, who you say could play. Who do you think
to play Barack Obama?
Yep,
Blair Underwood.
Okay, who do you think?
I think Blair Underwood. Who that Hollywood would actually go for would be Denzel Washington.
That's who I think. Denzel. Denzel could play the heck out of him, and I think I'm looking at.
To me,
the coloring and everything.
I don't even care about that.
The resemblance.
But you're about to make Rugel's point.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
that's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like if you're gonna do like you have for example, you have to me, I think out of those characters, Will Smith would be the best person to choose. To
the way actors. He looked. But he ain't smooth like Denzel.
But to me, though.
He need that swag.
But to me, if I was going to choose somebody, and if I was able to use CGI and choose somebody to play Barack Obama, you know what it'd be?
Who?
The Rock.
The Rock?
Yeah, because I think The Rock I think The Rock can do it. I think he would do the problem is he's swole. He just too swole.
He would have to lose weight.
But if you shrink this CGI the body part. This had to have a body double.
That's all.
I know that sound.
What's that sound? It smells medical moments. Hey, we got to get it right, honey.
Today's National Fried Chicken Day, so we're
what?
Seriously? Is it? Today National Fried Chicken Day? I'm going to get me some wings. A reason to get some wings real quick. Let me go ahead and
reason. It's wings.
It's wings. And you're right. right about that. Real quick, here's what we're going to talk about. Let me finish your point. The Lion King, if you want to go see The Lion King, July 19th, that's when it comes out. So I put that out there. Now, Mel's medical moments today is preventing tech neck. For everybody who on their phone up in the studio.
For doing what now?
Yeah, see what I'm saying? He got tech neck. Preventing tech neck. And that's when you look down and you're like, oh my gosh, I need a massage. What's going on? Because you are constantly looking down. Real easy. Keep good posture. Listen at this. They said, wear an activity tracker. What is an activity tracker, you ask?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's something that you'll like time yourself to say, okay, get off the phone, get off the computer.
Oh, that don't
How long
work
have
for
you been
me.
here? But you have to train yourself. See, I'm one of those people that I'll put my phone down, I'll leave my phone somewhere, and they're like, oh, I called you. Okay, do like throwback, call, leave a message. I'll get you, I get to you when I can. Adjust your monitor to eye level so that you aren't looking down, because it's going to be a whole bunch of people talking about the humpback, Notre Dame. Sit with a head rest in the chair. Now, okay, that's tech neck looking down, but then you're going to be looking at the sky like, I just feel like it's different. Or you're going to be looking forward. What's that, like duck neck? Like, what the heck? And keep hydrated. Keep hydrated. You're like, wait a minute, Mel. Keep hydrated. Why are you telling us to drink something? Because it's hot.
Yeah.
So that's the answer. Look, I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with tech neck. Well, actually, it does because we need the water. Drink plenty of fluids, and if there's somebody that you know that's elderly, please check on your elderly. I can't say this enough. You'll look at the confusion, and you'll want to know what's going on. Why are they confused? And y'all know y'all quick to diagnose, messing around with that doggone internet, because y'all probably got tech neck. And y'all be like, oh my gosh, my mom is going through dementia. This is early stages of dementia. She might just have a UTI because she dehydrated. Ain't nobody sitting there feeding her. And a lot of elderly people, you guys know, they don't really want to eat much, especially when it's hot. They just have a little bit. They need that hydration. All right? So there you have it. Mel's medical moments. And we are done with that part. Moving on.
All right, we need to talk about this fried chicken thing.
Okay, go.
Okay, this is what's going on according to Newsweek. This is breaking news.
Wait. Let me get the sound effects. Ready? One more time. Breaking news.
Breaking news. According to Newsweek, National Fried Chicken Day deal. Popeyes, KFC, Chick-fil-A. Is it Chick-fil-A? I would say
Chick-fil-A.
White Castle and more. Now this is a little history on the fried chicken. They call it fried chicken facts. According to the Daily Mail, fried chicken was originally a Scottish dish that was brought over to America. It makes a lot of sense given the Scottish like to deep fry Mars bars. I never had one of those, but it sounds delicious.
Hey, we gotta try it.
It was also considered a special occasion dish until the late 1900s, according to the Daily Mail. This is because spring chickens, which are the type of chicken used, which are the required type of chicken due to its high fat content, were scarce. So there's the history of that fried chicken right there.
So it came from the Scottish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Nick's people got their hands on it.
Yeah.
They lying.
And said fried hard.
They lying. White people lying.
There's
shake and
it
bake.
It is.
Shake and
bake.
Shake and bake.
We can't get credit for nothing.
Well, sometimes you take something and you make it better. You know what I'm saying?
Like fried chicken.
For example, Italians didn't have noodles. They didn't even have tomatoes until they got it from the South America and start growing those things over there. And noodles came from the Orient, but they the ones known for pasta
And pizza.
Yeah.
They changed it. They took it. They done stole it.
So that's,
They stole it. Deboed it. Give me that.
we don't have a Slim's chicken. But according to its
What
website,
is a Slim's
customers
chicken?
can grab a
Baked?
$5.99 chicken meal all day long.
Chicken.
Popeyes. To celebrate your love of fried chicken, you can get a $10 bigger box, bigger box from the Louisiana Fried Chicken Love Nest. Louisiana Fried Chicken Love Nest.
If we had a Popeyes, if we was down south at one of the Popeyes, yeah, but up here,
oh man, it's all to say.
You said it's all the same. Now that I found out, look, now that I have learned that fried chicken came from the Scottish, maybe I'll be more open, because here's the deal. I am such a visual person. I can't see anybody other than somebody black frying my chicken, or it's not going to be good.
Right.
And the Popeye's chicken, and I get it, it's a franchise, but you got the Arabs that own it.
Oh, Lord, that is not politically correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, back to the Kentucky Fried. The KFC.
What they call? They're not Arabs. What is it? Arabs.
Yeah,
man, y'all getting on my nerves with the Arabs.
I say Arabs.
So KFC, this is what
Easterners.
Middle Easterners.
This is what the Colonel says. The Colonel has announced free delivery through delivery partners Grubhub for National Fried Chicken Day, July 6th. Customers in the U.S. will automatically receive free delivery when they order KFC through Seamless.com, the company's New York branch of the respective brand app. Not to mention no code needed from Thursday, which was the 4th of July, to Sunday. Also, with the purchase of any KFC 10, 12, or 16-piece chicken on the bone meal, which I didn't even know that was a thing, but I had to read
That's
that part.
normal, though. Chicken on the bone meal. On the bone.
A nugget. Maybe they mean not like strips, I guess. Right. But you know, chicken. I never seen that in print before. Chicken on the bone meal. I like the way it sounds. The KFC 10-piece, 12-piece, and 16-piece chicken on the bone meal in the restaurant or via Grubhub, customers will receive 4 free, limited time only Cinnabon dessert biscuits. No, just give me more chicken and keep your biscuits. Okay, White Castle. Get 20 chicken rings for $5.49 according to the company's website. Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A, quit playing.
We always say Chick-fil-A, but we know we wrong when we say that,
that's our
right?
accent. We say Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay, check this out. Weirdly, the chain is not celebrating Fried Chicken Day, even though it sells fried chicken. Instead, on July 9th, it will celebrate its Cow Appreciation Day. If customers dress up in cow-themed attire or accessories, they receive a free entree until 7 p.m. local time.
Wait, what you say now?
You dress up like a cow.
I got a cow print underwear outfit.
When you wear that,
I mean underwear set. So I could wear that and just pull like my shoulder off.
You wear it to
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A on July 9th, and you'll get a free entree until 7 p.m.
You want all Victoria's Secret for some chicken?
I got it. It ain't.
Hey,
I got it. That's what I'll be wearing.
I'm about to get me some paint and like give me brown eye hair.
I'll be like, here go my strap. Give me my entree.
Yeah, accessories. That's what they say. So that's what they're doing. Yep, Chick-fil-A. Cracker Barrel, that's their place. Get a Southern Fried Chicken picnic box for $33.99 as a way to celebrate chicken. Dog House. I don't know who the Dog House is, but for National Fried Chicken Day on Saturday, get a Bad Mother Clucker for $5.
That's what it
Dine in only. Bad Mother Clucker.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that's it. So find your place where where they sell fried chicken and call and see if they got something going on National Fried Chicken Day. Now the Colonel. The Colonel is the most popular fried chicken. I'm not a big fan like that. They did away with the grilled chicken.
That's only at certain locations.
Now, wait a minute. So, in the urban areas, did you hear that, live studio audience? They did away with the grilled chicken? Why? What?
No, it's only on certain. It's because
I like the grilled chicken. I wasn't really interested on the fried chicken because it tastes different. Like I'm not a big fan. I don't know.
But there you have it. That's according to Newsweek, your chicken news.
All right, today's footnote. Every day may not be a good day, but there is good in every day. Hey, how you want to wrap this show up? Go ahead, Kim Ham, the go-to girl. You know you're the one.
The go-to girl says, sometimes you need to follow what you're good at, not just your passion. 30 years ago, I was afraid to go to the first floor. 30 years later, you can't stop me.
Well, go ahead.
That's what's up.
That is, I ain't saying nothing. I done ran out of something to drink, okay? Well, that is my time, lovely people. We ran over a little bit.
We don't even get to say nothing.
Yeah,
They
mic
cut us
drop.
loose.
Mic drop. Let me see here.
Jeez.
I need a mic.
Nick. We need to hear what Nick has to say.
All right,
Everybody got
Nick, what you got to say? The voice of the community. Hold on.
I've already said
School's in. Go.
I've already said what I had to say, especially about the. Listen, that was your basket. You should, because if that was me, I'd have went and got my basket.
So the moral of the story with Nick is she gonna teach him a lesson.
Well,
you steal from me, I'm gonna steal it back.
Well, in the theme of baskets, it's to honor today's celebration. The basket we should be looking at is
a fried chicken.
And think about if you live your life as you would choose your best fried chicken today. You want it fried. You want it thoroughly done. You want to do your tasks and have your tasks thoroughly done. You want it to be not overdone, but thoroughly done with a juiciness and crispiness that gives you a zeal for life. That's what you do today. You like indulge life thoroughly done. Thoroughly enjoy life with a juiciness and crispiness that cannot be duplicated in other forms. Just do that thing.
All right. Hey. Fry your chicken hard.
Live your life thoroughly.
Yeah, live your life thoroughly.
Enjoy it with a
work hard, play hard,
crispiness.
And take what's yours.
She back to it.
Take what's yours.
She taking that 2-piece.
If it's yours, take it.
All right. She ain't letting nobody come in and deboing her and strong-arming her.
Nick.
That is my time, lovely people. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. How can we get in contact with you, Kim Ham, the go-to girl?
KimHam.com.
Go ahead and visit her website, KimHam, Also visit Shop Talk with Mel website, How the Wife Becomes the Other Woman. You'll see those initials up there. And listen to the audio drama because it bangs. I ran into somebody last night and they were listening to it. And I had to listen to it with them. The whole series. It was like, boom, it was like, oh, that's good. Also, we'll be kicking it. We got a play coming up, so I'm excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Dangerous Curves. Yes, all professional female bikers. Been in existence since 2004. The annual bike and car wash. Yeah, the prices ain't never went up. We still the same. Bikes $5. Cars are $10. Trucks, because everybody want to have a truck. So come in there thinking you're going to get your truck washed for $10. That's $15, okay? So we need an extra $5. Put $5 on it.
When and where?
This is going to be on Sunday, July the 7th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. in Youngstown, Ohio. Kingly Hand and Car Wash. Okay? Hand, wax, and wash. And that is the downtown location. So if you want your car kingly clean, let the Curves do it for you. Also, we'll be selling food. We'll be serving our gourmet hot dogs. They're going to be there. And also our Touched by a Curve bottled water will be for sale as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so y'all make sure y'all come and check it out.
I'm coming to eat.
You come and eat, honey. That's what we do. We want y'all to come and eat because what happens is, you ever heard that saying, we get high off our own supply? We are best customers. Yeah, we be our best customers. And then the whole, like last year, a bunch of people came. We done bought our own stuff. I was like, oh, wait, we don't have no more. We're going to go back to the store. I was like, we sold out. That's it. I'm like, we're not going to keep going because how do you make money? You don't make money if you keep going to the store and spending money. So, yes, come on down to the bike wash. Even if you don't want to you don't trust us to wash your car, but we do good because we use real products. We ain't using no soap suds, okay? Come on down. Support. If you have $1 to donate, we appreciate that. If you don't want anything, just come, just come and just chill with us. Kingly Car Wash, downtown Youngstown, doing it. We got some entertainment. I'm excited about it. Also, we did lose a rider. He wasn't in our club, but they're going to start that run. They're going to meet at that place, at that location at 3 o'clock for Greedy, and I think 680. So they're going to do a bike run for Greedy, and they're all going to meet right down there. So it's going to be off the hook. Come have some fun, party, music, fun. Just have a great time, man, and just live life. Just like Roogle said, live it
juicy and crispy and thoroughly cooked.
Happy Fried Chicken Day. Yeah. National Fried Chicken Day. Again, find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Shop Talk right here on Spreaker.com.